Hello, and welcome to the Game Informer Show. I am your host, Andy McNamara. I am joined today by a wonderful panel of people as we discuss many, many topics that we'll get here in just a moment. But first, let's say hello to Dan, the Jacket Tack.
How are you doing? It's great to be here. It's great to be here. As always, hello.
The Jacket's presence makes every episode of the podcast better. Thank you for being here today.
That's what they tell me.
Yeah, it is. The fans love it. Andy Reiner, how are you doing?
Good. I liked your thumb point at yourself. I'm going to do it too.
That was good. And I'll throw out some of these. I'm gonna get it all going, right? But it's trying to make watching the show just as entertaining as listening to the show in some way possible.
Yeah, if you're only listening, just picture I'm pointing at myself right now with my thumb. It's a cool look.
Yeah. And in the box, in the booth, Alex Stadnik, how you doing?
I am good.
All right, I'm glad we started thinking. Yeah, because I tell you, since I've been, I don't know, God, how long have I been ruining the show? For the last 3 or 4 months.
Feels like 3 years.
It feels like 3 years.
Wow.
But I've been trying to watch other shows with an eye of what are the pros doing? Okay. How could I be better? This was not one of the things I saw them do, but trying to get things right.
Well, Andy, we're the tastemakers. Okay?
That's right.
We're making the things that they should be picking up on.
Oh,
so all right.
Oh,
yeah.
Now check it out.
Hey, have you thought about making your podcast opening a little sloppy and confused? Game Informer's on it.
We got an awesome cold open. It's really nice.
It is. It's really great. And when we get to the outro at the end of this episode, I will surely murder it. So please hang around for that. It's more to come. But today we have, this is a crazy show. So it took us 20 minutes of discussing beforehand what we're doing here. So this could be a marathon. This is going to be a big one. And a lot of that has to do with the great feedback from you guys. You guys have been doing a great job participating. And first and foremost, I want to say, I've been bothering you and pitching you and saying, hey, like us. Hey, hit the bell.
Smash it.
Hey, smash it. Tell your friends. And I want to say, I am seeing the results of that. The last 2 weeks, all of March, we've been up. Yep. And I wanted to thank you guys for that. And if you could continue that push, it's very helpful to us. It makes defending the importance of the Game Informer show to the world easier. So please continue to do that. Not that I'm groveling, but your support is appreciated, noticed. I want to say you guys are heroes. I've been calling out for you to send in stuff to podcast@gameinformer.com. And the reason this show is going to be so long is because you are sending in awesome questions, number one. Number two, we have great support for GI Town. We have great support for Kiss, Marry, Kill. Great questions this week. Great challenges. And we got 2 new dumb games that people brought us for us to play. So we have 2 bonus games created by the community that we're going to play this week that I think you're going to really like. So this show is chock full. So that's all to come. All to come. Yep. But what we're going to start with first, we're going to talk about E3 being canceled. And we're going to go through a couple games.
Yeah.
Those games specifically being Call of Duty Warzone, Nioh 2, and Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Big week.
So much goodness.
So big, great games to talk about, but there is a lot of news, and we're going to start that one with E3. E3 being canceled from 2020, which is crazy when you say it out loud, though we mocked Dan last week when his prediction was after GDC was canceled that there was no chance on E3. And you were
definitive.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I've never been less happy to be right about something. This isn't sort of the thing where you're right and you're like, yeah, I told you so. This sucks for everybody that this happened. But I think looking at things globally right now is actually getting to be, I think all events this year to some degree are in question. The further out you go, we can wait and see. But a lot of the stuff in the summer, I think, is going to be in grave danger.
Yeah, for sure.
Gamescom, not a chance.
You think not a chance?
Let's just extend this thing out.
Keep rolling, Dan.
Here. Yeah.
I can't see it. I can't see it. Especially that show of all shows. If it was something maybe smaller, but a show of that magnitude with what's going on,
hundreds of thousands of people in one spot.
Comic-Con, PAX, all that stuff probably.
Yeah,
same camp,
probably.
Right?
I'll say probably for PAX, but Gamescom, I just can't.
Because
can't. It's such a logistically that is one of the most global shows, and just the order of magnitude of people, just I mean, I hope that this thing is under control very quickly, but we have all evidence points to that not being the case.
There's just a lot of questions out there. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's going to lead to a lot of just making the wise choice, by the way, as you say, of like let's go on the side of caution, right?
Yeah, I think you have to. You're not going to be known as the show that just like,
infected the world.
You want to be known as the pandemic show.
You don't want to be in the history books as, because like South by Southwest went away too. You don't want to be like South by Southwest, also known as the the ground zero of like all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like you don't want.
I know that these shows cost a ton to put on, and so much work goes into them, and this is a lot of people's jobs are tied to these things. But I frankly think that at this point, right now, it's irresponsible to hold any event like that.
Yeah.
Andy and I have been to every E3, and we complain about it, because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of travel, there's a lot of hassle, but it is also one of the greatest weeks of the year for me. It's like video game Disneyland, right? Like I'm a kid walking through there, seeing all the new games. I love it, and for them not to have this show, it's a major bummer for me.
And even for people
I'm
who
really
don't go,
sad about this.
Like even for people who don't go, it's video game Christmas. Like that's the time of year where we get all of our presents. We get to see all the new stuff, and
especially in a launch year.
Yeah, and a launch year, no less.
Yeah.
I mean, geez.
And I've certainly done my fair share of complaining about E3 over the years, but there's never a version of this where I've said, hey, I want this to go away because it is so important. And I do laugh. I did watch the clip. We had a clip that we pulled out for YouTube that was like, here's our discussion about last week. It got redlined from YouTube for being like, I guess, too hot for TV, which is kind of hilarious. I think they're just out there trying to scrub all the like disinformation about coronavirus. So, hopefully we're better at just discussing the issues than that. But Leo was like, this is the first one I'm going to go to. It's of course going to get canceled, which made me laugh. And he was right as well in that he was going to have some bad luck in that. But we've mocked it. A lot of people are saying that this is the last one ever, though. That's the conversation today, is that like because of this delay, that it's going to make E3s in the future, that people will find a new way to talk to consumers that will change the thing. Reiner's already shaking his head, which I tend to agree. I think that's very, very quick decision as far as like looking that far ahead. And
I think
there's
a very negative narrative that started, especially in the game press, from when everybody got doxxed by E3, right? Like all your private information went out there. A lot of people have kept that negative talk going.
Yeah,
they've just been down on the ESA for not taking the right action, not getting compensated the way they wanted to, and they're totally right. Yeah, right? Like it was not handled well, but E3 is still the flagship show for video games. You talk about Gamescom PAX. So if they say E3 is never going to happen again, well, these other shows shouldn't happen again, right?
I mean, I think I have seen the argument though that people say that what Gamescom has done as far as being a thing that's good for business and good for the consumer is a model that E3 should be looking at, and that if E3 won't change and refuses to change, then it should go away because something like Gamescom could take that mantle, right? That those two shows don't need to exist.
E3 will try to adapt before it disappears.
Yeah.
It will try to take on this new identity. It has to. They have another year to think about it now, right? Like to put this together to really make a game plan that makes sense. They have a great window, the timing in June. If they stick to that, that's been ideal for publishers and developers in the past.
If they handle this right, could this almost be blessing is not the right word I'd choose, but like, if they do look in the mirror and say, oh man, this is what we're doing wrong. We really need to change this. And I'm not saying it would happen like the year after, but like maybe the year after consumers and publishers start to see that they're changing in the right direction. Could this be kind of that blessing for them if they choose to take it that way?
I think you're right. I think there's an opportunity for them to see an actual what happens when there isn't an E3.
Yeah.
Right? That there's a lesson of like, hey, like we didn't reach these people. This conversation didn't reach as many people. I think what people are saying and assuming is that they will reach the same amount of people. And then that'll be the assumption that says we don't need the E3. I mean, there's definitely a lot we don't know here. But it could definitely be that kind of like opportunity to change or to think better. But I mean, I think that's the thing. The ESA, this is going to be one rip that I think is fairly given, and one criticism that's fairly given, has been slow to adapt.
Yeah.
Right? And when we say, you get another year, it's like, get another year. You've had years to do something, and you haven't done something or changed. What does one more year do? At some point, you're unwilling to change, But to Alex's point, maybe this forces change.
Yeah. Maybe a force of nature will finally get them to.
Yeah.
Well, that is what happened here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
To play devil's advocate with this year off, like you're saying, they're still talking about doing something digitally. The ESA is for E3 timing, right? Like, I don't know what it is. If it's a
they
schedule
can.
of videos that hit.
So that's the whole question, right? Is now do companies all do, everyone calls it the Nintendo Direct model, right?
Yeah.
Around
Yeah.
E3. And do they see the same kind of engagement and analytics and all that stuff without having to go to the show, demo the game,
Save millions of
save
dollars.
millions on floor space and most people don't know making that demo build for E3 is a massive project for the developer. And if they don't have to do that and they can control the message
Now-
a million %, I don't know. I mean,
You're not getting
that's
to
what
the guerrilla marketing that comes out of it, of like people wearing T-shirts
Right.
and talking about how great it was to meet these people and play the game there.
And
You're
I-
going to miss that, but
And we're
how much
also-
is that worth? Right?
That's the consumer angle. We're also missing like the whole thing of E3 being a huge thing for developers to interact with one another and retail and all of that. That's a giant ecosystem of that annual meeting, for lack of a better term.
That
There's so many-
we'll have circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah, there will be. And I think this is interesting too. You brought up two great points in there, Dan. One of them is that other companies will find a way. And Ubisoft was very quick with the statement that they got out on Wednesday, which was the health and well-being of our team's players and partners is our top priority. So while we're disappointed, we fully support the ESA's decision to cancel E3 2020. E3 is and will continue to be a moment where we come together as a community and share our love of games. We're exploring other options for a digital experience that will allow us to share all the exciting news we have planned. So,
you kind of have to read between the lines a lot there.
yes,
And
it's always got a little bit of PR and it's always got a little bit of marketing, right? But Ubisoft is saying they support it.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with everything that's said there.
Yeah.
Like, they will do something cool online, and E3, like a gathering of everyone together, is so important.
It is.
That's the question I guess I have is everyone just going to jump on the E3 branding flagship, or are they just going to have an event a week
Yeah.
earlier where they show their thing? It's always been a constant show of like earlier and earlier every year with companies trying to
Yeah,
get the rollouts.
it's been a game of chicken
Yes.
where
Yeah.
someone who goes first, okay, once you go first, I want to go last, and then
Right.
like who ends up in the middle. I mean, that's been E3 and press conferences since as long as I can remember.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I think the other thing that's interesting too, though, is having talked to a friend, and I'm giving a little inside baseball here, but I thought it was a very interesting comment, and I'm not going to attribute it in any way, but that when I saw developers immediately go like, "Cool, does that mean we don't have to do demos? Are we free to just continue to work on our game?" Because it is to Dan's point, which he brought, which is very real, that you spend a lot of effort to make a demo. Right? Like think of all the tools and systems you make to make a section of your game rather than all these tools and things that you make to make your whole game, right? And so to make that vertical slice is an effort to kind of because you want it to look great and be representative of your game, and you want to impress people. There's a long list of things you want a demo like that to do, and it takes a lot of effort, whether you know that or not, to make those demos. But I know people that have moved on from they were like, we quit doing that. Right? They were like, we quit doing that as a company because we stopped chasing E3 demos. And what they brought up, what I thought is interesting, and I think should be brought up here, was that we were 100% like, get rid of those demos, they're a pain in the butt. But what it did a little bit for them was that like all of a sudden everyone else in the company couldn't look at it and go like, okay, I get the game. Here's how I want to market it. Here's how I want to get it out in front of people. Here's like feedback from the community of like what they said. Because they were just like, like you said, you get rid of that piece because it's annoying to make. And then all of a sudden you realize that it has all these other implications that you don't see, that the ties that bind it are not as simple to see, and when they're gone, it's a big deal.
Yeah. Sure.
So, there's a lot of questions here. It's not as simple as like it's just gone or it's not going to be a real thing, because it does change the way people make games and change the way people work towards getting their games done and out. There's no way to avoid that.
Yeah.
That's how important E3 was, which is what's scary. It's kind of crazy, right?
Right.
So we wish you well, E3.
Yeah.
And
we wish you
Come
well.
back stronger and better.
I know we're trying to get out of this, but Cork made the point last week about GDC being a place for indie devs and smaller studios to meet bigger players. Is that the same with E3 too? Are a lot of those kind of meetings, those type of things, going to go away too, or is that not as much E3?
I mean, I guess we don't know. I mean, I think as long as we have digital things, you're still going to have Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft champion indie games and give them an opportunity that they wouldn't have had. I mean, I know I was over the years, some of my friends of mine were like, I was on an E3 stage. Like my game, my little indie game was on an E3 stage. And that is, I mean, just so you know, I mean, you can see it in their face. It was mind blowing to them.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? That their indie game could do that. I mean, that's a very powerful thing that happens. And so I don't think it goes away. I think they would still say, "Oh, I was on a Nintendo Direct." Like I think there is some of that too. There would still be that association is still powerful.
But bringing everyone together behind the scenes, there's a lot of wheeling and dealing going on between indies, studios that are pitching games, trying to get a publisher.
So much
I
of
do
that
think
stuff
that
does
is
happen
GDC.
at shows.
I think it's GDC.
I mean, because
more.
I know, like, just for a recent example, like I brought it up a few weeks ago, like the Divinity Original 2 guys met up with the Baldur's Gate guys. That was at a PAX or something.
Yeah.
And they're just like, yo, I want to make Baldur's Gate. So those kind of meetings are very typical of all shows.
Yeah.
So
I think this is my personal opinion here. I think E3 is less so because E3 is focused on executing a lot of things, and like the developers that are there are in meetings all day long. Right.
Okay.
And like
That's fair.
you get less time to go be social. Yeah. As a reporter, as a developer, everyone has less social time in an E3, where a PAX or a GDC is a little more lax.
Sure.
You know, a DICE, those kind of events have more time, where those chance meetings I think have a better opportunity. I'm not saying they don't happen at E3.
I'd agree with that.
But I don't think E3 that's where E3 is a stage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
First and foremost. Yeah.
So I think that's different. But that was the true shame and the true crime of GDC not happening 100% is that connection, that connected tissue.
Because I'm not worried about Microsoft or Sony getting their message out. They'll be just fine. It's the little guys that I was more curious about. So
yes, 100%. You're right on there. So another big piece of news this week was that Horizon Zero Dawn is coming to PC. Which, we've discussed this on this show before, that as we transform the industry into more of service-based, which I know someone's going to write me and say, Andy, you're an idiot. I hate you. There's going to be an Xbox 7. You're all wrong, and you're so stupid. I don't know why you do what you do. But I think everyone...
That's my letter to you.
Yeah, thank you. Ryder was taking notes while I was saying that. He was like filling it out.
Just word for
he did
word.
it in Slack this morning. It was uncomfortable for everyone.
I think everyone in the industry sees that there is some kind of service coming into the way. Like this is not just my opinion. This is the generally accepted way.
Yeah.
And for people believe that PlayStation first party games should be on PlayStation, and we do believe that is still a thing, and it's something Sony has said outright. Like our biggest games won't be part of a Game Pass; they will be on something like this. But they are releasing. This is the quote. We are releasing one first-party AAA title to PC doesn't necessarily mean that every game will now come to PC. In my mind, Horizon Zero Dawn is just a great fit in this particular instance. We don't have any plans for day-and-date PC releases, and we remain 100% committed to dedicated hardware, which is totally true. And I believe that. I mean, Sony makes games that they don't have. I mean, I think this is an assumption. Maybe I'm speaking for everyone here. They don't have to have as part of a Game Pass. That they can sell them individually. They have definitely set a standard as a studio that's impressive.
This generation,
right?
I agree.
Like Nintendo. Someone goes like, "Oh, Nintendo's going to make a pass." I'm like, "No, Nintendo can sell you Mario any way it wants to." Let's be realistic about it. But it's interesting, and it makes for an interesting that the summer release. They're saying it's a summer release. We don't have a date, but we also have The Last of Us 2 happening May 29th. We have Ghost of Tsushima happening June 26th, and also Death Stranding is June 2nd
for PC.
For PC. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
with a different publisher, though.
Different publisher. That's
Sony.
That's 505, and it's going to be on Epic. And but that is something that was assumed, I think, by a lot of people that is a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, sure. It was a timed exclusive. Yeah,
that you are going to be able to play and access on PC. My question for you guys. How many more games do we see of first-party? I know what they said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I think we're going to see a lot of them, but it's on a clock. See, look at how long it took for Horizon. I think that's the kind of clock we can expect.
Yeah. So 3 years. So 2017 is when Horizon Zero Dawn happened, right? I think that's my assumption.
I know people are scared that the whole exclusive ecosystem's falling apart, and they champion their system and all that. But look at it this way: Horizon going to PC could be planting the seed for Horizon 2 on
PlayStation.
PS5.
Yeah.
Getting announced maybe in a few months, who knows. But the people that play Horizon 1 see there's a Horizon 2, and it's like, well, where can I get that?
It's on PlayStation.
Only on PlayStation 5. So
Yeah.
you could be growing your
Yeah.
install base just by giving an exclusive here or there, or, one of these titles, first-party titles, to a different market.
Yeah.
Yet the next game in that series, that popular series, might only be on PlayStation 5.
Might
I
only
think
be
it's smart.
It might be on PlayStation 5 for what, 3 years, and then
Exactly.
it comes to PC.
Yeah.
You're still going to get a PS4 if you want a PS5 if you want to play this stuff.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
a timely fashion.
Yeah.
Please put Bloodborne on PC. Thank you.
I know that's been asked for. I mean, I think that's the thing too. Is I think to your point there, Reiner, is that especially for a new franchise, for an opportunity to get in front of a bunch of people that would just be like, I've heard that's cool, but I'm not going to play it because I don't have a PlayStation. For them to get an opportunity to play it, it's one of those things like everyone knows what God of War is. Do you know what I mean? Like, and like those kind of standards that PlayStation has had around for a long time and people have played through various platforms throughout the years, right? But this is something new to reach new people, and I would agree. And also, too, sometimes people get really angry about that stuff, but like, maybe we get better graphics, we get some upgrades, we get,
we're gonna get all that.
I thoroughly don't understand that level of anger when things don't stay exclusive.
Well, because you've got your brand and you've saddled up with them. You're in their car and
the multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Well, you don't see them as that.
Yeah.
These are people making the games that you love.
Yeah.
It's also, I think part of that is that gamers are competitive. Sure. Right? You know what I mean? Like they want to be mine's, like I'm better than you. Like it's part of it's a part of gaming. A lot of people could say that's a bad part of gaming. I think there's a discussion around that.
There's a difference between healthy competition.
The one thing that I've seen that is valid is with Xbox putting everything on PC, people have said, well, why would I buy an Xbox?
It's been brought up.
I have a PC. Why did I buy an Xbox? So for the people that buy Xbox, they're like, well, Johnny's not buying Xbox anymore because he has a PC. Like, it's going to be a smaller group of people on Xbox,
But he's still playing.
In the day and age of crossplay now, maybe it's going to be different. But
Johnny's still playing
see
Xbox
that.
games on Xbox Game Pass. He's still in that ecosystem.
Yeah.
But that's the important part that Microsoft, I think, has realized. But it is something that, like, I think Microsoft put out a thing where they're like, oh, we're not going to judge it by how many Xboxes we sell. And it's because they're planning to be on to PCs, right? And I think that's a reality going forward. And I think, for me, I think I was talking to someone, they were like, you're not really an Xbox player. And I'm like, no, because I have a PC and I play them on PC, right? And it's not an accepted thing, or that I'm not an Xbox player when I'm a game player of any game anywhere. But I actually, personally, I like not having to love some piece of hardware, right?
Yeah.
Like I want to love a game, but by the way, I'll take you to the mat on some of my favorite games, right? You know what I mean? Like I have no problem with that, and I love that argument. I love the critique, and I love those fights. But like the hardware, as we've moved to them all being basically closed platform PCs,
as long as they all
Yeah.
talk together, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if it is a defined thing where I cannot play my game with my friend because I'm locked on the hardware, that's an issue.
Yeah.
And that's going away, hopefully.
That has to change. I don't see anyone being able to resist that wave. It is not there yet, but I feel like that is a wave that is unavoidable.
That has to be next gen.
That has to be next gen.
We're already, it's being toyed with. The groundwork is laid. That's happening.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
happening.
I agree. I would agree as a prediction. I
Yeah.
agree it's 100% going to happen. My worry is that it's not going to happen fast enough.
Right. There's always,
Do you know what I mean?
holdouts,
Like
there's all kinds of things to consider.
Because I definitely already feel like when I hop on a game and I'm like, oh, we can play it together, and I'm like, oh no, we can't. I'm like, what year is this? 2019? You know what I mean? Like literally, it that quickly has turned into a ridiculous statement.
Yeah.
But exciting to see. I actually think I go with exciting times.
Yeah.
And
Me too. And the PC audience, by the way, is going to love that game.
they are.
They're
I
gonna
agree.
Eat that up.
And they should.
So good.
What's going to be
It really
interesting
is.
for me is that like when games like this, when they're like, if it comes out on like Steam, like like Sony's got to be making a like PC store front app thing so that they're not giving a percentage of this
You're
game
totally right. It's
to
going to
Valve.
be a service. You'll have an
Yeah.
icon on your desktop.
Wait, did you just say I was right? I thought
that's a bad word.
Yeah,
I mean,
no. No, you're totally
Well,
stupid and completely wrong, and
I'll
it's
take
never
it out
happening.
in post. I got
Okay,
you.
yeah,
okay,
we don't need to
please.
hear that.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Alex, for picking that up. We don't want anybody to hear that. And one last piece of news that I think is worth talking about is that the NFL signed a deal with 2K.
Crazy.
Which is, it's not entirely everything we wanted. We wanted a carte blanche 2K, you do what you want.
Yeah.
But the rule is that they're planning multiple non-simulation football experiences, which, by the way, That is the most whole line in history. Like,
Wow.
like the lawyer wrote this, by the way. A lawyer wrote that. You know, like a non-simulation
What
football
does that
game
mean?
experiences.
Oh, I can't wait.
What does that mean? Like, where's the line? Is simulation meaning it has to be 11 on 11 exact rules, or could it be like 10 on 10? And that's no longer.
Yeah, I have no idea. Or else, like, there's physics in that football. That's a simulation. You can't. I mean, like, what? It's dumb.
The language was chosen very carefully.
Yes, it was.
For legal reasons.
Yeah.
But it's good news. I wish the NFL would. I mean, honestly, this is now like. And by the way, EA, you've had your ups and downs with Madden over the years, but I mean, they've made good games, right? Like, like EA's done a good job. But I want you to have competition. Competition is good in this space. I want the NFL to just grow up. Let whoever wants to make it and pay you the money for your license go make a game, and let's get some competition in this space. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I hope that wording means, and I think EA did the original game, but I would love something like NFL Blitz to come back.
That was
something
Midway.
like okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
old arcade style.
Okay, what you're saying is it could be free game.
I mean,
Or
I
not
think
free, but you know what I mean.
That's an arcade.
I think
Arcade,
arcade games would fall outside of non-simulation football game experiences. I think a NBA Jam style, NFL Blitz style game would for sure be coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you're probably going to get a mobile game, right?
Oh,
in
for sure.
in some way,
Multiple
shape.
games.
Better count on that.
Yeah.
It said multiple games for next year, right?
Yeah. It said it's planning multiple non-simulation football game experiences.
I
Love it.
hope in all these games that they're making the stadiums as realistic as possible, the player models as real. Like, you could see the future seating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of like, just let us go full simulation and then do 2K25 or whatever.
I'd also like to point out, make them fun. Let's start with fun, right?
That's a great place to
I
start.
think let's start with fun, because I think, sometimes the simulation portion, just to be clear, sometimes it's just like I just want to have fun with some of those things, and sometimes I think some of those fun simulations have been missing.
Does the NFL allow fun?
I don't know.
Not
Like,
anymore.
you're not going to
No
be
fun
league.
league.
You're not going to be knocking helmets off. You're not going to be giving guys concussions. Like, it's not going to be like the Blitz of old. You're not going to be suplexing guys.
But I wish they would let that happen.
Yeah.
They're not
I
going
don't
to. You're
know.
right. There's a
there
lot
might
of
be
concern.
fire on their feet. And
That's-
they might be like,
yeah.
whoa,
There you go.
whoa, fire's bad.
But that's a good point. They're not going to let, especially in the age of the concussion, they're not
Yeah.
going to do the truck stick.
It's
like,
not
I'm
gonna be
coming.
WWE.
Here I come.
I don't know. Hey,
I love
it's-
those games.
We can get away with a lot of things in a non-simulation experience. So, we'll see.
Well, then they'll just sign the XFL to do that, because the XFL won't care. They'll let them do whatever they want.
But they have the NFL and NFLPA, right?
Yeah.
So they have the players and the teams.
So that's a big
It's exciting.
deal. Yeah, it is a big deal. And I think it's interesting to note, too, that as far as opening that stuff up, I've seen Nifty has gotten some license in place for some of their planned sports mobile games, and also that Apple with their series has been also opening up to getting the other player associations and the teams involved as far as the licensors.
Yeah, they had that one game that came out that was unified like all the sports, right?
Yep. So I think it's really interesting to see that these licensors in the sports space are opening up to games,
Yeah,
just as a
I
general
agree.
trend.
Yeah.
So, like, just to point out that it's not just the 2K edition here, that other sports and their licensing units are opening up to more game options.
2Ks is important just because of the legacy.
The
right?
legacy, yeah.
From 2K5. Everybody wants lightning to strike twice.
I mean, 2K5
I don't
is
think
like,
it's going to happen, but
yeah, it's not gonna. It's not soon, but
No,
I mean, like,
yeah.
if you don't take this first step, we don't get there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Do we
This
know?
is a good start to maybe get there.
And I know the NFL is listening to our podcast, because I'm sure every single
They are.
person there listens, because why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They do.
Roger,
So-
you listening?
So we've given them the insight that they need to go make the right call.
And they're going to now. Trust
Yeah,
me.
and they're going to. They're going to. Once
we
again,
know-
another Dan predictions is out
I
of
love
control.
it. Yeah.
Dan predicts.
Do we know how long EA has the license for simulation type games?
I mean, I think as long as they're making successful Madden games.
Okay, there's
Yeah, they just
they're
re-upped
gonna-
it,
Yeah,
right?
they're gonna.
something like that. Yeah.
But I did not do that research ahead of time. Someone will, I'm sure, tell us how dumb we are in the comments and give us that
can't
answer,
wait.
and we appreciate that. We appreciate that. The answer, not the dumb part, but the answer will be very, very helpful. On Tuesday, we had a Call of Duty Warzone hit.
Surprise.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, big
No-
surprise. It
no
literally,
leaks.
when you went when you logged in to play Call of Duty, there was a thing that said confidential in the middle of your screen.
Classified.
Classified was
Countdown.
like, wonder what that could be. I have no idea. But yes, the secret is out. Warzone has hit. and it is I believe it's worked on by Raven, right?
all of the names are in there. So
all
they
the
got
names are in there, so the
Beanox,
whole
they're
thing.
all- so I don't know who did what.
I mean,
but
there's
yeah.
shared assets.
Yes.
And
Yeah. So, but it hit, and it's a 150 player battle royale, and also has another mode called Plunder,
Yes.
which I didn't play.
So
I
here's
only
what
played BR. What's Plunder?
Plunder is battle royale for people who don't like battle royales. There's no it's not permadeath like a battle royale, and you just go until until somebody gets 1 million.
There's no
Yeah.
constricting circle either.
No
so there's
constricting
a
circle.
timer,
Yeah.
25 minutes, or what is it, 25 minutes?
25 million or $1 million bucks.
It was either Mm-hmm.
Ah, that's interesting. Like,
So you
it's
play
like
with your
kills,
team. You get
kills.
money. It's about collecting money.
So it's
That's what
money is the
matters.
only thing that matters.
Right. So you can either be like a scavenger, sort of hang out on the outskirts, try to avoid conflict and get a huge roll going, and then try to get it out Dark Zone style.
Looting boxes
No.
and finding cash on the ground.
Yep.
Okay,
So that
gotcha.
You're banking it to save it from being stolen, because once you start getting cash, you show up on the mini map with a big red thing
The
saying
top
Yeah.
three
they got
earners.
money,
Yeah.
and so people are going to come after you. So you can pick how your play style is going to be. Are you going to be like an edge?
You want to be the assassin at the end that gets the kill and steals the money and takes it all.
That's
Yeah.
obviously the
Yeah.
most watched
Yeah.
moment, right? But
Yeah.
you can be like, I'm just going to be a bounty hunter and not worry about banking cash. I'm just going to go after the high value targets.
Yeah.
Or you can be like, I'm going to be like a sort of a rat on the side of the map and try
Yeah.
to go for that easy cash that nobody's trying to get, and then bank it. And there's multiple ways to play. From one day of play, I found that people either love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
There are people on two sides of that. There's no in between on that mode.
I am. Sorry.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
You're in the in between mode.
I am on the in between. I like the idea of it, but it takes away the tension of the BR for me, which I don't
Right.
love.
It's a little slower,
Yeah. But
right? Because you're not funneling the players in, so the chance
The
of
whole map is
conflict-
open.
and it's a huge map.
Yeah.
So we had some really 5-minute lulls without seeing anybody.
You can have those, but the whole structure of the game is sort of incentivized to stop that, because you're supposed to go after the big money guys.
but
for sure.
like you were just saying, you don't have to
You don't have to,
until the end.
but if you don't, and you're running on the outskirts, just collecting money ostensibly, you're going to become a target, and you're going to get action that way.
Yeah.
So that's how they do it. But yes, it is
But
slower
you can
paced,
sit
less pressure,
back.
less pressure for sure.
But I mean, even
Not
in a regular
earn.
BR, especially in this BR in particular, you can sit in the weeds with a sniper for a while if you
can,
want, and let
if you want.
It's boring, but I mean, you can let people kill each other off.
You can.
in that way.
One thing I like about the new Warzone is just forget that. Forget that whole play style. Because of the gulag and some of the other mechanics, which we'll get into.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it definitely fosters more of what I would say Call of Duty BR should be, because some people, two sides of this coin too. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't like that it's simplified. I'd say that I do like the fact that it's streamlined. I hated always having to fumble through my inventory for survival supplies or attachments or all that stuff. Like, oh, I got to get a 12x on this gun. None of that. The gun is as it is. Different rarities, grab and loot, and if you're really lucky, you can get a loadout station to get your loadout from Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and you integrate that into the game. That's kind of a way to get you to play Call of Duty.
And that's 100% their hook to get you an apology. Because
I'm aware of this.
When I started playing last night, 'cause I was busy yesterday, and I started going home, and I was like, oh, finally I get to play. And then you do the training thing, and the thing is like, you get a loadout, and I was like, these loadouts all stink. This is stupid. And then I was playing the game, and it came down, and I went over, and I was like, it's my loadouts.
Yeah.
OP. I was
Right.
thrilled. So
Yeah.
having the ability to access the levels and everything that you've done in the
Yes.
regular game is not just incentive. It's if you want to be competitive in BR, you are going to get Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Is my take on that.
They make it so your loadout might not be as cool as some of the legendary stuff that drops, to be
No,
fair.
but to go
I
from
know.
to go from
I
the
know.
random drop sniper rifle that barely has any magnification
Right.
to your
To your-
just
to your
pimped
honed, yes.
out sniper
Yeah.
that you use
Yes,
in
for
regular
sure.
Modern. It's just I was like, oh my gosh! I any fool that comes over the top of
Yeah.
that hill is
Game
in
on.
big trouble.
Yeah.
But
Let's go.
it's not a given. You have to go find a
You have to go
load,
find them.
and you have to
There's
fight
a
for
risk,
them.
yeah.
There's definitely
Yeah.
risk.
Yeah.
But you're right. I'm going to completely agree with you that is absolute incentivization for you to have Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So you can bring your anime gun in, like I do,
Yeah.
and just start rolling
So-
people.
And I was just going to say to Dan's points of streamlining. One of the things is that you just basically have metal plating. You're not like I need to power up my shield. I need to power
Right.
up my health. Your health is just a timed thing, kind of thing. It eventually you'll just get
it's
back.
Call of Duty health with again,
yeah.
no inventory management. One thing I don't
You do
like,
have a little bit where you can drop things for others, right? There's a
Yes.
little bit, but
Yes,
it's
that's
very,
true.
very, very small.
Yeah, not like the other ones where you're scrolling
Yeah.
through attachments, none of this stuff.
No.
I don't like the fact that there's kill streaks in it. I don't think those should have been added as items.
I think though. I mean, I think this is like one of those things that I think they'll smooth out over time.
Sure, that's my 1 day assessment. To be fair, it's just like when you get close to the end, like 20 people left, and everybody's looking at each other, and you get hit by a cluster strike. It's like, man.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
But I'm with you. I actually wish they offered more play modes in regular Call of Duty that were like non-kill streak, like just with more rule sets that you could, that didn't have to be a personal game that you could match make to just like, I don't want, because that's the thing is sometimes in a regular match, someone rolls up and gets like 16 VTOLs up in the air, and you're like, this is not a fun game.
But at least they got a kill streak for it. In this, they just get it as an item.
Yeah.
So
but
like,
I mean, it's interesting.
It keeps the action going. I'll give you that. But
Yeah.
like I said, I think that happens pretty organically without those, at least in the matches that I've had so far. This is 1 day of play. So
Yeah. No, yeah, we're still pretty early. But I also, too, I think we should point out that, like, that there's that. They have a pinging system that's pretty... It's workable.
It's
solid. Not maybe not quite as good as what it was obviously inspired by, but it is very good, especially for communication when you can't communicate.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, yeah. And then it also has a buy-in for teammates. There's like certain stations around the world where you can spin the cash that you get and you find, and you can get weapons, you can get kill streaks, and you can also, like, if someone's dead, you can buy them in. And then more importantly, there is this really cool edition.
It's the best.
It's the best.
So damn
good.
cool.
Very fun.
Oh my god.
Such a small thing, but
Such
it's
a small
very
thing.
nice.
Yeah.
So if you are familiar with Gunfight, which is the 1v1 thing.
Yeah, 2v2 or 3v2.
Or 3v3
2 or 3,
now,
yeah, exactly. The things, but basically they took that and they added is when you die, you go to this. It's called captured, I believe is what they
called
call
the
it.
gulag.
The gulag.
It's called the
Literally called
gulag.
the
It's called the
gulag.
gulag.
You're in prison.
You're in
You're in prison, and it's like the bathroom scene.
You're in the shower.
You're
in the
and
showers,
you get. Everyone gets like some gun, like shotguns. I've gotten shotguns, handguns, like machine
pistol.
guns.
You both get the same weapons.
You get the same weapon, and
just
it's
like
like
Gunfight.
someone gets out of here and goes back in. Someone does not.
Yeah,
so
and then
good.
you drop back in from the
Yep.
airplane
Yep.
if
To your
you win.
team.
If you win and you come back in with just your handgun again, you got to recollect everything. You got you've lost all your progress,
But you get a second
but
shot.
you get a second shot, and it's pretty sweet.
And what's
'Cause you
really
could be
cool.
watching.
Yes,
you could
it's
be
really cool
watching-
if you get like team wiped, like
Yeah.
Reiner's saying here. Like if you get team wiped and all three of you are in the gulag at once, you're like watching each other fight to the death down there.
Yeah.
And get hit.
Throwing
It's
rocks
pretty
at
sweet.
'em.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can throw rocks too. It's I really wanted the story about how that got added because that's like such a. It's such a small thing, but it does change things.
Brilliant.
It's like
Yeah.
I
It's
have
the best edition
You
of
have an
VR.
extra
Yeah.
life. It
Oh,
might
yeah.
be.
Yeah,
It might be. I think it's up there. It's
One
definitely
thing,
up there.
one thing I'll point out, I played a lot of Blackout. That was the first Call of Duty Battle Royale that was attached to Black Ops. The flow of the game is very different. They got rid of the tall grass that people could just hide in, right?
Yeah.
Like, so you could be scaredy cats just laying with your sniper rifles, hear people go running by, and then get up and take them out. We did that a lot. It was super fun. You don't see that here. So you're more exposed. There's a lot more structures. But if you're out in the wild, they really try to keep you moving,
And they
which
do.
I like.
And that's another system we didn't talk about. But I would like to say that, yeah, as opposed to the more methodical, I would say, BR, like Black Ops, which was sort of a PUBG-ish more experience where patience is critical. And it still is in any BR to some extent, you know, knowing what you're doing, checking your corners, knowing where everything is. This one has the system where you're getting contracts while you're out there, which is actually really cool. You're like, I don't know what I should be doing right now. Well, go grab a contract. It'll show you a bounty target. So this is a really cool. It basically has an in-game bounty system where it's like, go hunt this guy down and you'll get paid for it.
Yeah. Or go find chests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or like happened to me last night. I was like, I'm over this town. I'm in a good spot. The ring's gonna come right here. I'm gonna sit down right here. I'm gonna put down a claymore. I'm gonna get out my sniper rifle. You have been targeted for a bounty. And I was like, I was like, right as that happened, I was like, right now I gotta watch my back. Which way are they coming from? And then I got all panicky and was like looking all over the mountain and not concentrating on killing the people in town. So I think it changed the flow of the game.
Yeah.
Just even me knowing that I'd been marked.
Also, how they ping you on the map. You're making any kind of sound and you're lighting up.
Yeah.
I mean, that map shows a lot.
The standard Call of Duty.
There's a
like-
lot of data on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, there really is. And I think it's fun. The thing is, they have great weapons. For me, that was one of my favorite things right away. Is I like the way Call of Duty weapons fire. Do you know what I mean? And they feel good and like a BR. Like I felt like there were times like I could get against multiple people and I was like, I can beat these people, right? Like I solo, like another one, if you're like 3v1, you're like, I am so doomed, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like in a 1v3 or even a one, maybe not 4, and then you're definitely at a disadvantage, don't get me wrong,
Right.
and you can get flanked and it'll be over in a millisecond. But you can sneak up on 3 people and change and have a chance.
Oh, if you play your cards,
Oh,
you'll
yeah,
at least
Without
screw 'em
being a
up.
pro.
Yeah, I had a 3v1 after my teammates got killed last night, and I gunned down one of them because I snuck up behind him, and then another one came running. Another come in the door after me. So I had a combat knife ready, and I got the one shot on that guy,
Nice.
which is great.
Yeah.
But then I got killed by the third guy. But I wanted to be able to
I was
say
going
that
to say, I
killed
don't
them all.
believe this story.
No, that's true. The third guy destroyed me. All right, but
And it's also really funny too. I was like on top of a building, and I was as it was closing in. It was near the end of the match, and all of a sudden I looked up, and there were two people coming down on their parachutes, and I was like, you just won the gulag, which is like, I just won the gulag. And then I just
you get
pow,
shot,
like
yes.
right out of the air. Pow.
And that-
Welcome back.
That's
So good.
That's another small thing that I think we should talk about real quick. Like, it's just the fact that you have the possibility of aerial combat because everybody
Yeah.
starts with a pistol.
Yeah.
So you can actually
Yeah.
cut your shoot in the air, shoot somebody down, and then reshoot to hit your drop.
Somebody there
Just be
like
careful
Saints
you deploy
Row
it
or
again.
something like that
Yeah.
wanted
Yeah.
that.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
I also just like jumping through windows in Call of Duty. Like, it's
Oh
awesome.
yeah. It's always fun to hear that glass break.
I like everything about this. Yeah.
It's got a lot of great things. I mean, people have been asking me if I don't like other BRs, will I like this one? Probably not. It's still a BR.
Yeah.
But it's different enough from
Yeah.
the others and it has some like we've been talking about. It has some really cool conceits that it brings to things.
And I would say
super smart to make it a standalone game because you'll still have your annualized Call of Duty coming out every October, November. But this is going to live on its own, right?
I mean, that's a question
I
mark.
hope. I don't think we know that. I think
I
we
hope.
hope.
Yes.
I think we hope that they keep it
Yeah.
standardized.
That's what I see, right? Like that's
Yeah.
just me thinking out loud. But that's
Yeah.
what I'm
No,
hoping.
no, but I think you're right.
Single
And
player, multiplayer.
it could be
This
a
is
mode
Battle
on
Royale.
every single one and keep to one battle royale
Yeah.
because people are going to be annoyed when they change.
I think that would be great if they do make it a pillar.
That's the right call. And I know, once again, everyone at Activision listens to the Game Informer show.
They do.
So they are
Now-
now listening out. So we're letting you know,
This is what you should do.
leave it be.
Now,
Leave it,
unlike-
work on that one and build on it.
Unlike the NFL, they actually do listen to it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
no, everyone listens. What are you talking about, Dan? I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll just say this. I think the $1 billion release each year is going to keep going.
Yeah.
And have this thing here to make more money.
Yeah,
too.
they should, and I think that's a good point. I do think, as having played, all the BRs to some degree, some more than others. I mean, Apex is still, I think, the technical standard as far
Yeah.
as like having the most tools and the best like coordination and stuff kind of built in. I definitely just like the Call of Duty universe, and I like the guns in this one. So I
Yeah.
think that's really good. Fortnite is its own beast that you can't
Has the
really
best pipeline of
and
content.
fun
Yeah.
stuff, and like Fortnite's got its own thing, and I don't think it's an immediate competitor here. I think there's definitely more of an Apex versus Call of Duty
Yeah, I
discussion,
agree.
and
I
even
agree.
PUBG. I think gets
Sure.
into that stuff. But it's going to change it a little bit. But it definitely, to your point, and this is the thing I have with I'm going to go on a little bit of a diatribe for
Okay.
myself. Is that like I want to play battle royales, and then I find myself running around picking stuff up and opening doors and picking stuff up for like 20 minutes for 2 magazines of shooting.
Yeah.
And I even did it last night. I did 3 rounds and I had fun. And I was like, I'm just gonna play a regular Modern Warfare match.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
a
can-
different flow.
So I can shoot people.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
that's cathartic to me, and I want to shoot someone and not just sit in a bush waiting for someone forever.
There's
and
a
I'm
different
sure
intensity that comes from. Both
It-
are
it is.
intense, but it's a different type.
It's a different
Yeah.
and a good match when I make a good run. Like when it does get the build up can be great. But and that's what people love about BRs. But there are times when you're just like, I just want to shoot some people. I just want to shoot some people. But exciting times.
Yeah,
very much so.
Agreed.
It's so good. Go watch our new gameplay today if you want to see it.
For 7 hours.
For 7 hours. I think I'm still playing it
It's
at
a lot
this
of new
point.
gameplay.
Yeah.
I came and looked in the window, and Alex was sitting there playing by himself and streaming by himself. I was like, he really doesn't want to leave that. He doesn't want to go up and go work. He's going to sit here and keep playing this all day.
Andy looked like the dad who sees his kid having way too much fun and is like, I'm not going to tell him. I'll let him keep it going. So,
We have 2 more games to talk about
Wow.
in this show. So
such a good week.
Nioh 2. So first of all, it's March 13th is when this game releases. It's Team Ninja. It's coming to PS4. I just want to get rid of some of the housekeeping on that one. So Dan reviewed it, went out. It's online at GameInformer.com. So check that out. Dan.
You can also check out our new gameplay today.
Oh, new gameplay.
Launched yesterday.
How do we make so much content?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either, actually. So tell us about Nioh 2.
Nioh 2, if you're even interested in Nioh 2, you've either played the first game or you're interested in Souls-likes. There's no way to talk about Nioh games without the Souls games. That's just how it is.
That's
They
how
were
it
inspired
came
by
to
them.
be.
Absolutely. So this game is really, it's hard, it's long, and it has lots of customization options. If you're into this kind of game, you're probably going to dig this game a lot. And they upped the multiplayer options this time. So if you are struggling, you can bring 2 friends in instead of just 1.
Oh.
And they even added blue ghosts, which are if you're
It's Pac-Man?
if you played the first game.
Cereal, right? Booberry?
So there are red ghosts in the game you can summon. Basically, another player died there. You can kill them and take their loot. They'll never know about it. The blue spirits are like say Dan got to a challenging boss, and he's like, wow, this guy really gave me a pain. So I'm going to go back through the level. I'm going to put my blue ghost right here so that anybody else that fights this boss can summon me to help them fight the boss as an AI. I don't even have to be in the game.
Oh.
And
That's cool.
I get paid out for that, actually. And I get glory points and cool toys because I'm helping people. So I tried to find during my review session, I found like anything that was a pain point for me, I would go stick a blue ghost near it. So other people got to use
So
them.
that's actually would make the game, because you were one of the first people through,
Yes.
harder, kind of like Death Stranding, that like there weren't those other connectivity in place.
Ladders everywhere.
There was a point in the game where no ghosts, there were no ghosts anywhere. I was like, all right, I've gotten pretty far. this is where there are no more ghosts of any kind. Nobody's been here.
Because the game's hard. You looked a little stressed getting through that.
I think so. I was stressed more. It is a very challenging, difficult game, but if you're used to the Souls games and Nioh 1, along those terms of difficulty, it's a very hard game. It's unfair at times. It's extremely punishing. It's one of those games that, like, let me put it this way. Like, when you do a Dark Souls boss, it's like, okay, this is really hard, but I'm going to get it. And then, wow, this is great. I beat it. This game's just more of, like, just beating you into submission. By the time you beat the boss, it's just like, yeah, well, I'm not getting a beating anymore. It's just like, it really wants you to be hungry for that beating.
Yeah.
It's funny whenever Dan gets stuck on a tough game or he has one to review, he sends me texts like he's writing to a diary.
I do. I do
Dear
do that.
diary, today was really rough. This boss beat me senseless for 5 hours.
And it's true. And I don't
I
think
got a bunch on Nioh too from you.
I did I? I thought I was better
Yeah.
about it this time.
You just blacked it out.
There were like I think there were 3 bosses in the game that were what I call multiple attempt bosses, for lack of a better term, that took me some time to get through. But overall, the bosses are erratic, much like the first game. Like, some bosses are incredibly difficult, and other bosses you're just gonna be like kill him and be like, what was that? When does phase 2 begin? I'm not sure. And they're all over the place in terms of difficulty. But the levels, in fact, take over some of that. Level design is just brutal sometimes, where it's like, all right, there's a monster. I'm going to go fight that monster. Well, the monster has 4 dudes on top of ledges with rifles, watching that guy. Maybe I'll pull him back. Oh, wait, there's an invisible monster behind me that if I pull him into this space, is going to attack me. It's just like, it's like playing a game of, like, there are traps everywhere, and they all want to kill you really badly, and everything in the game kills you basically in 1 or 2 hits. So you got to navigate that sort of, like,
So
you're
it's
playing
Russian
mousetrap.
roulette.
Yeah.
But it's a full chamber, right?
Right. It's just like, you get to some points, you're just like, you got to be kidding me. Like, there's just no way. Like, all of this stuff all chained together, and then you're like, well, if they're not going to play fair, neither am I. So you take out your hand cannon, and you're like, I'm going to run this guy back to the beginning of the level. If he's not going to run back to the beginning of the level, I'm going to get him when he turns around. Let's go, buddy. Let's start this war. I'll find your leash point.
That's funny. So just using the gameplay rules to your advantage, essentially.
Sure. But honestly, the regular gameplay is really great. It's got crisp combat, very precise. It added a bunch of new foibles to the combat in Nioh 1, just so if you are like a guy who can blaze through Nioh 1 with your eyes closed now, you'll have to master these new burst counter things, very similar to Sekiro's, like,
Oh, nice.
kanji flashes, do something. It's got that, so if you see the red flash, you've got to hit your burst counter. If you don't, you're probably dead.
Still Sengoku period.
Yeah, it's actually a prequel to Nioh, and people who played the first game are going to get some really cool Easter eggs. And I'm not going to go further than that because can't talk about that stuff until after the game releases.
So here's a couple of pieces of critique that I have read, including
Certainly.
from yourself, would be that
I would love.
Sometimes the world itself is a little drab.
Absolutely. The environments are not only, some of the environments look exactly as the exact copies of environments from the first game. And also very, very dull looking, very gray, very brown, lots of caves, lots of castles, and lots of villages. That's
Cherry
the template.
blossom trees. Any boss fights near those?
On a rare occasion, you may see a cherry blossom tree.
Yes.
But the game was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's not the norm. You're going to get very used to seeing the same sort of dusty brown and broken down villages.
And then the other one that I thought was an interesting thing that I read about the game, a critique, that was that it's very well done, but it also reminds you how well From Software does as a design point on their games.
You can absolutely tell that many of the inspirations are there, like levels that loop back on each other. You find shortcuts. all this kind of stuff, and taking that this is the hardcore game.
Yeah.
We want you to feel pain, but they sort of, I think,
Not as eloquent.
Like I said, I think this game is great. By the way, I gave it an
Yeah.
8.5, but like at the same point, you don't feel that. Sometimes you don't feel like you're being challenged, so that you triumph. So that it's just like they want me to win. You don't feel that way here. You feel like they want you to die over and over, because that's part of the loop that they're creating.
And Team Ninja has a history, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
they
Ninja
make
Guy-
tough as nails games, and they're
make
still
tough as-
doing it.
They're still doing it.
Good for them.
Yeah, I mean, you know, hey,
Seriously.
what you know.
Yeah.
some people like them really super hard.
It's true.
And that's the point of
There's a
victory.
market,
That's how you get there.
So I think that is who this is for. And again, so one thing you didn't bring up is, a lot of recycling from Nioh 1 in terms of enemies and environments, guardian spirits, weapon, all that stuff. A lot of it's the same, but they do add a lot of new stuff, and it's a lot of quality of life improvements on top too. So
Well, that's good.
if you like Nioh 1, you'll love Nioh 2. And if you like hardcore games, you'll like Nioh 2. And if you don't like hardcore games and you have friends that are into them, you still might like Nioh 2.
Now, if you haven't been involved, you'd say go play Nioh first, though, right?
I would actually go right to this one.
You would?
It's
Because it's
like
a
I said,
prequel, right? So you could play this and then.
theoretically, don't bother with the story of these games. Just don't. Please, God, don't ever go into this game thinking you're going to have a comprehensive or even comprehensible story experience. All right, just
So
forget
the
that.
Phantom
about the
Menace of
gameplay.
prequels.
Man, the Phantom Menace, at least you can follow.
Somewhat,
all right,
yeah.
all right,
Oh, okay,
fair,
you're right.
fair.
To Andy's point. All right, yeah, let's put it in Phantom Menace category.
Okay.
All right, and
All
in
right.
terms of story, because
play Nioh.
because the gameplay systems and everything else are so strong, it does not need that story. I wish it had that, but that's not its strong point.
Yeah, you're here for the gameplay.
Yeah.
You're saying you're coming for the trade negotiation talk of Nioh 2, just like
Oh,
Phantom
God.
Menace.
I mean, there are sometimes it's just like, yes, you're going to meet a lot of like fantastical historical figures, just like you do in the first game. Maybe some of the same ones. Maybe even some same characters from the first game. But other than that, I'll
hints.
yeah.
Ooh.
Hints.
Well,
Saucy.
All right, so 8.5. 8.5.
Eight and a
That's a
half.
good score.
That's
It is
That's
good.
a low score.
Is it?
Okay.
Is it?
Oh.
Well, let's talk about a high one.
So the next
Hey.
game, which you may have guessed by that segue, that Reiner played, called Ori and the Will of the Wisps, is out now. It is from Moon Studios, part of Microsoft Studios. It will be on PC and Xbox. Also, it is immediately available on Game Pass.
Crazy.
It is the follow-up to Ori in the Forests of Forests, in the Forest with the Forest
That's
Forests, right? Is that right?
I love
is
it.
that right?
Spot
That
on.
is,
It is.
is that yeah. There's Ori.
Yes.
It's the follow-up.
And the Blind Forest.
Oh, the blind forest.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The seeing forest. Okay, never mind. So, all right. Tell us about it, Reiner. Tell us what's going on.
So it's a Metroidvania style game where you are exploring a sprawling side-scrolling world that you'll see something in the environment and be like, that looks interactive, but you can't do anything with it at that time. And then you find something later in the game and you go, aha, I know how to use this now. And you try to remember where those things were. So it's that style of playthrough, but like Dan's Nioh 2, it is really challenging. Like every screen you go on, every jump you make can probably kill you. Right? and they probably will. Like they are devious in design.
The first game was, I think the
Hard,
knock on
yeah.
it was that it was too hard.
And this one,
In a lot
they
of
did not
cases.
back down on
Yeah.
difficulty at all.
Yeah.
Not one bit. And there are times where you're just like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do on this screen. It's a lot of them will be puzzle platforming, right? Like there's a rhyme or reason to it, and you got to kind of figure out how you navigate that space.
Yeah.
Once you figure out the navigation, you have to then make those
Execute
jumps.
it. Yeah, you have to execute it, yeah.
And when I say jumps, it's not just a jump. It's not just a double jump. You add a dash on top of that. You add a launch move on top of that. You add a grapple on top of that. And sometimes you need to do all of those things to make it across one screen. So there are a lot of executions that have to be very precise, and that can be frustrating. But then you have that thrill afterwards of, oh, I did it. But then you realize you've only moved one screen. You're like, okay, I got to do this again and again and again. And that's part of what's brilliant because the designs are so good. Their levels are so good. And one of the big things, one of the big changes with this sequel was the first game, you had to sacrifice your energy, your magic power to create a checkpoint.
Yep.
So you could kind of make checkpoints where you wanted. Like, oh, that was tough. I'm going to put a checkpoint here. This game, they give you auto checkpoints. Very classic in design where you reach a certain spot and there's no danger. see that little save wheel spin, and you're like, oh, I did it. I made it to a new section. The entire world also, they've opened up even more. Even though it is a Metroidvania game, and that's what they are, it feels like one giant dungeon, this forest. And when I say that, it's very guided at the beginning. They kind of hold your hand, like, go this way. And then all of a sudden they're like, find these 4 things. And then there's 4 waypoints on your map out in the darkness, right? You have to figure out how to get there. And they don't give you the tools. They don't give you the directions to get there. You just need to explore, get to a certain point on one of those paths. Let's say you're going east, making some progress, and all of a sudden it's like, I see no solution.
Well,
I don't
the classic
know.
Metroidvania is that you didn't go down, left, right, up, around to get to that one simple east.
Yeah,
Right?
I don't know where to go.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I want to finish this area, but I can't. I'm going to go north. Well, I can't do anything north. I'm going to go, you just start moving
some
around the map.
backtracking involved.
And as you're backtracking, you might have a new power that opens up little secrets that gives you more power. So there's a lot of light RPG elements in this game where it's you are getting new abilities. Not everybody might finish the game with everything that's there power-wise. Upgrades, so you're getting these shards. So if you're exploring, you'll find these little clusters that you can get. Every enemy you battle will drop them as well. So they make combat meaningful this time, where it's like, you don't want to just run past enemies. You do want to take everyone out to get this.
So is that RNG that would drop a spirit, or you're saying like they drop the thing one time and it's predetermined?
No, you could just keep going back and getting them. So every time you're running through the level, just kill everything, right?
Gotcha.
Because it's all going to add up at the end.
It's like a currency, ultimately.
Yeah, it's going to make you more powerful. So it is a quest for power as much as it is a story-driven experience.
Okay.
Ori 1 made a lot of people cry. I got teary-eyed because, they really do a great job with these characters and making you care about them and their relationships. This game's no different. You're going to have heartbreak. You're going to have, these just wonderful moments with these characters. And as you're questing along, getting these powers, you'll eventually like run into bosses and stuff like that. That my first time taking on a spider boss, I was like, this is impossible. This is the hardest game ever made. Like, I'm barely ticking away at its health.
Text from Dan, right?
Yeah. Dear diary. Yeah, dear Dan. And then I went off and just played for a few hours, and then I came back and took it down on my first try. So you are getting like all these abilities, more health canisters, just like Metroid, more energy, stuff like that you can use to really start to own in this game. So the difficulty does kind of balance out. You got to kind of figure it out on your own, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like level 1's easy, level 2's hard. It's all over the place. You just don't know where that is. And that's kind of what makes it brilliant, right?
So one of the things in the original game, and by the way, I'd like to point out too, Ori is adorable.
Yeah.
Just simply adorable. And this game is beautiful. Like, and the previous game, I got to give them kudos, make sure tip of the hat. Wow. The game is simply breathtaking to look at.
100%.
Like such a great art design and art lead there. So, but the original game, I was like, oh, that boss, kind of hard. Those escapes. Oh my God, those escapes. They were just like, they'd break your brain, right?
Yeah.
So like, have they done anything with that? Have they done, or is it still, are they
The
still?
escapes are back, and that is the one area where the checkpoints aren't happening. Once an avalanche starts hitting your back, you need to finish that section, and they are tough as nails. Like they are really, really, really rough. I would say not as tough as the first game.
Well, that's good.
Like there was one in particular in the first game that was just like, nope, never gonna do it.
Yep.
And it was like Luke Skywalker taking down the Death Star, like 1 in a million shot. Like, I did it.
Yeah. I mean, because those I felt like those were on the thing where like you knew you had to like dash up and to the left, but if you were just like a millimeter off in your directions, you would like shoot into a spike.
You were done
and die, and you were like, no. And you knew, and the thing is, like you said, you'd memorize. Like, I knew every single move from the bottom to the top, but
there's a little more
bit of execution would kill you.
There's a little more wiggle room this time.
Good.
If you hit a spike, you're
dead.
But the environments are better designed in that capacity, or these escape sequences are.
And 0 checkpoints.
Yeah, no checkpoints. Just you got to get through them. And I would say the most deaths I had on one was maybe 10.
Oh, that's reasonable. I could do 10.
And that's, getting a little further.
Yeah.
Getting a little further. Like, you're starting to look, and they're easy to read too. So you'll see things like, okay, LB, RB, hitting the buttons.
Yeah, okay,
you
gotcha.
see it visually. It's not like threading the needle. It's more just executing.
Well, that's good.
And not freaking out as you do it. The other thing on combat, Ori, the first game you're kind of shooting that arc, the spirit arc or whatever, fireballs. This one you can do melee or extensive magic. So you could be more up close and personal, or you can be more passive, raining death from afar. So they kind of enable you to choose how you play in terms of combat. Platforming always has to be the same though. Like there's no way to
Yeah.
Like they have very specific jumps you need to make, but combat they kind of open it up to how you want to do it.
That's super exciting. And you gave it a higher.
9.5 out of
Wow.
10. A much better game than Nioh 2,
Apparently.
according to Dan Tack.
Whole point.
We're like, we don't understand why gamers get competitive about their PlayStation and
No.
Xbox. My 9 out of 5 is better
I'm
than
gonna
your
go
8.5.
change my score. Hang on.
Yeah. What?
No, so
It's great. Everybody should play it.
Would
But
you- Yeah.
again, I said it's not for the faint of heart. It is. You will, if you struggle at platforming, probably not your game.
Yeah. Would you say it's better than the first one? Because that's the one
Yes.
thing I haven't seen.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm
It's
freshly into it, and I love it so far. So.
It's evolved. It's very similar, but it's evolved in the right way. Last thing I'll say, yes, it's on Game Pass, but they also have you talked about how beautiful the game is, a physical collector's edition that comes with an art book.
Oh, nice.
I love art books.
Yeah,
So-
no, that's
Yeah.
cool. I mean, if this is a game you want to get an art book for,
This is
Yeah.
the one.
this
Yeah.
would be
Or
a-
one of them.
Yeah, one of
them.
them. I mean, it
Yeah.
would definitely be listed. Oh, well, that's exciting. I'm so excited that I love a world where a game like Ori and the Will of the Wisps exists, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And also too, I'd like to point out, I'd say the same thing for Nioh. I think the Souls likes and everything around that, and that we have some variation in that space is cool, and variety is important, and giving gamers what they want. So that's my little diatribe here at the end. So
Let's celebrate good games.
yeah,
You
celebrate
know,
good games.
they're saying stay inside, so we got games to play and stay inside.
Oh, I'm way ahead of that.
And podcasts to listen to.
Oh,
Yeah.
there it is. Yes.
How's
There's a
that,
plug.
right?
There's
That's
a plug.
great.
It's a great plug.
I'm just like plugging all over. So that's the first half of the show. We're going to take a small break, and then we're going to come back, and we have some great questions, some fun games. So please join us. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back. Where have you been? Oh, you've been listening to the Game Informer show.
What was that voice?
I love
I
it.
think-
he's doing this.
I don't
He's been
know.
doing this for like a couple weeks now. It's great.
I think that was
never,
the best.
Never change it.
That's the best intro we've had. I liked that.
It's so good.
You know,
Yeah.
we're trying to get a little weird here. So welcome back to the Game Informer show. I'm the host, Andy McNamara. I am joined by Dan Tack, the Jacket. How you doing?
We are getting to get a little fun here. We're going to get a little weird here. We have such a great time, especially during community emails. So
Yeah, exactly.
It's great to have
Community
you.
It's always fun. A highlight of every show, in my opinion. Though I'm sure someone out there thinks they're awful. Reiner, how are you
Yo,
doing?
I'm
all
good.
right, all right. You got the point in. We're all on fire here. We're on fire.
Little
on
loopy.
fire. It's a bit of a show we're putting on for Activision and the NFL because they're listening in on this show.
Activision is.
Yeah. And Alex Stadnik in
what?
the box.
You know what? I'm down to get a little weird. Let's get a little weird.
It's getting a little weird. We're getting a little weird. And by the way, we're gonna get weird because we've got some questions, we've got some challenges that I think are out there. I am also some of the Kiss, Marry, Kill discussions I think are really good this week. Some people sent in some doozies. I looked at them and I was like, I don't know what I would do there. I also got a couple which we're not gonna bring up on the show that I was like, when you put like, which is your favorite Mario game, like versus like Mario Maker and Mario Party, and like Super Mario is the one on there. I'm like, I don't even know why we play that game.
Yeah,
because
we
like,
would.
Yeah.
because Mario Party's getting murdered, right? Like just getting murdered in that case. So and the other ones just had no chance. Like it's predetermined. But we appreciate the attempts.
Keep
So
sending them in.
Keep sending them in. Podcast at GameInformer.com. So let's start. Let's get things going. Hello, AMAC and the Informants.
That's
I love
us.
it.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's
What
great.
kind of band is that?
I think it's kind of like Josie and the Pussycats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
what I
Little
kind
doo-wop.
of
Punk
put it
rock.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Melodic
That's where I
punk.
put it there. They're not great, but they're good. I love you guys. I get giddy on Thursdays now, and you're to blame. Quick query: Have any of you ever picked up a real life hobby from a video game? After playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, my cousin decided to try skateboarding and became incredible at it. After I used a bow in Far Cry 4, I took up archery, and it's still one of my favorite hobbies. These things just felt so good in game that we had to try them out. Do any of you have any similar experience? Does anyone here have a similar experience where they tried something in a game and inspired them to try something in real life?
I don't know if I want to say this.
You got something good?
I mean, is it illegal in most states, or is this?
That's my issue.
No, it's super silly. So I played a Harvest Moon game on 3DS, I believe. And then I was like, you know what? That's a good idea. I'm going to make my own farm in my backyard.
You made a garden.
Okay.
Yeah.
A farm or a garden? A garden.
So I bought all the seeds. I was like, you start out like, I need the supplies, and I got all the stuff. And then I realized I got home and I was like, started tilling the soil and all that. I was like, oh, really hard. So I kid you not, I planted 3 things of corn. That was it. I had all these packs of seeds. And I was just like, oh, this is awful. And then they never
did it
grew.
grow?
No. I totally forgot about it. And I never watered it. And
That's a horrible farm.
That's
it didn't have the right light.
But he tried at least.
Yeah.
You tried. Yeah, you tried to take a hobby from it.
Yeah. And the other one I'll point out is it's not a profession that I took on or a thing I did, but playing the Tony Hawk games, I discovered bands through that. And I would go see, I went and saw certain bands like at First Avenue here in Minnesota that were, from Tony Hawk. Like that's where I discovered them. And I don't know. That came from
That's
games
cool.
specifically, right?
Yeah, that is cool. That is cool. Like it kind of inspired you to like some music. And I've definitely done that.
Just forget about my farm story. You can cut that out.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I was really hoping you'd be like, yeah, I was playing Far Cry 3 and I burned the marijuana fields. And then I started to do that in real life. That's where I was hoping you were going with that.
No, I was making my own
No, that's
farm
and
field.
also Reiner might get on a hit list there with that one, which we don't want anybody killed
Yeah.
through the podcast.
No.
Good Lord.
Anybody else have a real life thing that they've done from a game? I have a little bit of thing. Whenever I play a racing game, I get in my car and I think I'm like Mario Andretti or like Dale, and like I start taking turns way too aggressive.
That's
that I
not
should
good,
be,
man.
That I should be doing in a regular
You gotta-
world.
You're like method gaming. You got to stop.
And now that said, if I had a fast car and I had could afford to go to a track, I would gladly take up the hobby of race car driving that I have done in games and go try to emulate that in the real world, because that would be amazing. I'll have a GoFundMe up later today for people to put that together.
I'll be the first one to donate.
Okay, great. But and the other one too is like I like climbing in games, and it has inspired me to go try climbing at like vertical endeavors.
Cool.
And also Tim Turry a little bit inspired me to that. He was way into climbing.
Dude
for
was
a
hanging
while.
off everything.
But I discovered that my weak cyclist gamer arms not so good for climbing. Not so good. Not so good.
It'd be good for YouTube videos for us.
Yeah, I mean, if we're trying to make comedy videos,
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
yeah, they would be. They're definitely comedy. Nothing from you guys. You guys don't have any hobbies.
It's hard for me to connect the hobbies to gaming in
Gotcha.
such an explicit path, as my hobbies have come up on the show before. Some of the more exotic ones,
Yes.
anyway.
You didn't play Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, see, I can't make the connections like, oh yeah, I was playing horror games, so I got into hauntings and paranormal investigation
Yeah.
and urban exploration and all that, but I can't see that line. I can't see the line to cooking. I don't know.
See, when I was playing Harvest Moon, or The Sims, you start thinking about like, wow, I'm keeping this house really clean, or I'm doing something really good, and then you reflect on your real life, and you're like,
Oh.
maybe I should do that
Yeah.
myself.
I like cleaning the house here, but hell no, is it happening in reality?
Yeah.
It's like world travel.
It's weird, right? Yeah.
Carmen San Diego. I can't make these. I can't make direct connections. I wish I could.
I mean, I don't want to take a bowl upstairs to the kitchen
Right.
to stop me from riding a horse across the entire land to deliver a note. I mean,
Right.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I guess my only addition here, Reiner's point is good about the music thing, because that was Rock Band and Guitar Hero for me. I started to experiment more with, or like open my mind to new music. But I guess this kind of, when I got into the NBA and I started to play more 2K, like when I'd go to work out at the gym in college, I'd play basketball. I don't know if that counts. That's as close as it gets. So.
And you bring up a good point. I think there were a lot of people that went and learned how to play guitar, learned to play drums after those music games. I think they were really inspiring for a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people actually.
think so. I mean,
Yeah.
'cause
Even
you-
like Rocksmith, where you actually had
Yeah,
the real
Ubisoft
guitar.
made
Yeah.
one that, like, I think for a long time was doing pretty well. You know what I mean? At least,
Got sequels. Good,
So-
well enough to get sequels. Yeah.
so I think that's interesting. It's a great question. That was from David from Texarkana.
Nice.
So good question, David.
I have mad
appreciate
respect for David because that's like it's cool that he would be like, oh, I want to do that, and then go and pursue it. So
Well, yeah. After that question, I actually want to do. I want to like go get inspired by a game to do
Yeah.
something because I can't make that connection, and I want to make that.
Play Harvest Moon, man.
You can
change
get,
your life.
Get into horseback
an hour.
riding.
I don't think that one's gonna win.
That
out.
one's not going to win out. You're not going to get into
That one's
horseback
gonna win
riding.
out.
I mean, are you sure, Dan? I mean, you haven't tried it.
I have
Maybe you
tried
could
it.
go out and try it. Oh, you
I
have
have tried
tried
it. Didn't love it.
Didn't love it. Okay. All right. Hi guys. I've been a fan of GI for a long time now. Thank you. I have watched every episode of Replay and catch almost all the podcasts
Oh,
and
no.
new gameplay. a day.
Every.
Wow, I was wrong.
That's a feat.
Yeah, big thank you.
That's
That is
10 years of replay, by the way.
Yeah, that is-
Every week.
Yeah, that's a lot of Game Informer content. So we appreciate the fact that you can put up with us. So thank you. I have loved the podcast since you took over for Ben, and I think you add a lot more depth and insight into the topics discussed. Thank you. That's very sweet. Ben did a great job with the show. We still miss him to this day. And I appreciate when you lie to me. I really do. I really like that a lot.
just take a compliment,
All
man.
right.
You're great.
The podcast could be 5 hours long. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Nope.
Which we're going to try to do
Please,
today. I think
God,
we're going to
no.
get there. Okay, so my question is, with the line blurring between PC and Xbox, will Xbox Series X have the same requirements for online play via Xbox Gold? I've recently started playing more and more PC simply due to the fact that I can play online without paying for the privilege. It's a great question.
So here's my theory.
This is, by the way, Nate.
Mr. Prediction. Let's hear
Twisty
it.
Beard from Kansas City, Missouri.
So my theory is that all that kind of stuff is just going to move into the live services that will include everything as part of that.
Yeah.
So there won't be any of this like I won't have to pay for PS Plus to play on the PlayStation stuff, but it'll be part of that. Whenever this comes out in the next few years, the extended family. So I have all my Netflix of games within that family unit, and I'll get all that as part of it. It won't be paying for just online play.
You won't be
No.
paying for Xbox Live and Game Pass
Yes,
separately.
they're-
There'll be
that's right.
Microsoft's
one
already
subscription.
doing that
Right.
with Game Pass Ultimate. Yeah.
Ultimate. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That'll
Yeah.
all be folded into one giant ecosystem.
Yeah, I think PC forces the hand here. I
Right,
mean,
'cause
like
we get it all
because
free.
We
We
get it
love
all
the
free.
internet.
Yeah, and I know sometimes it's hard because there are costs associated with that with companies. We're not trying to be disrespectful to what we know it costs to maintain those kind of things. But I mean, Epic has made moves, and other people have made moves to make sure that stuff is free. So that'll be the gift from PC, I think, to console.
Yeah.
That eventually you should not have to pay to have access to
And that's-
multiplayer games.
Yeah, and that's like the hidden costs that people that don't know when they buy a console for someone for Christmas or something like that. All of a sudden, it's like, I can't play this game unless you subscribe for $5 a month or $50 a year or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just people don't know that going in, right?
Yeah.
So that would be nice if you could just put your game in and play it without having to worry about that.
Now, that said, I do think it's going to be a slow change. I don't think it's
sure.
going to be as quick as we want. To your point of like it having to be Xbox Pass Ultimate is where you get that.
They'll
But
have to
there's
change the
still-
naming conventions where it's just X Pass and just Xbox. Trying to dial it all down into that one.
I like X Pass. That's good. You should be a
And-
writer.
And
Tell me that.
PlayStation Now and things like that have to look at how they're doing that because I mean I think they're enticing us with the free games we get with it, which is great. But I mean, ultimately, what they want is they want us to be helping to build that service, which is expensive, by the way. Once again, it is
absolutely.
expensive, but there's got to be a better way to do it and kind of solve for that, and I think they will.
And it's confusing, right? When you
Yeah.
have so many different things that you can subscribe to.
Well, I hate it too when I just walk away from one of those long enough, then you're back and you're like, I gotta get my password to play online. You know what I mean?
It's a
like
pain.
just like
it's a
just-
huge pain. I had to do that with Nioh. I was just like, oh, I can't use the online functions without PlayStation Plus. What is this? What? Come on, I gotta go buy it. All right, okay, whatever.
I recently started playing a Ubisoft game. I started playing more Odyssey, and really enjoying it. By the way,
So great.
boy, I think I had to reset my password 70 times. It felt like. I mean, it wasn't 70, but it was a lot. and every time I came to a new thing, I was like, oh, I don't have this, and EA Origins and everything like that. There's been a lot of sign on, just grief in general.
Every time I use EA Origins, I have to password reset.
Yeah.
Every time.
So and I've had certain games too where they'll I'm like, really, you kicked me? again? Like, I signed in, I did this all. It's me. It's the same PC. There's just stop kicking me and making me give the password. Or another example of that too is when I want to upgrade my NVIDIA experience.
Ooh.
I don't know if you've had that happen where you're like, oh, there's a new driver. And you're like, I want to get the new driver. It's like, I need you to log in to get the new driver. And you're like, I just want the new driver, right? I don't need any experience.
Oh, gosh, I hate that thing.
I just want a driver. And everybody wants you to be logged in on time, and it's annoying. So hopefully that'll be fixed, but it's not going to be quick.
It's not going to be quick.
No.
It's
that won't be at the beginning of next gen.
No, I don't believe so.
It's a shift from the old guard, but to the new guard. But it will happen.
I think it will happen. I think it
someday.
Yeah.
Someday. I think we will be able to do more cross-play and more cross-save well ahead of that.
Yeah. But
Good question, too, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
No. Thank you, Nate. That is a great question.
And thanks for watching replay.
Yeah.
Seriously. Every episode.
Have you seen
I
that?
check out
Crazy.
for episodes.
Have you seen that show?
Yeah.
I'm a part of it, and I don't remember any of it. So
That's the way it goes, right?
it is the way.
So this has been a great thing. Hi, Andy and the McNamaras. You guys are the
I love it.
McNamaras. All right, there we go.
No!
Yeah, that's right. Take that, Reiner.
Do we have to legally change our names?
No,
Or
you
how
don't.
does that work?
No,
Okay,
you don't. And also, I don't know that you want to be a McNamara.
But you know what? I could read that as I'm the Andy.
Yes.
Oh.
You could.
We got two Andy
You
Macs at
could.
the table.
You could, too.
No,
Yeah.
he's the McNamara's. I'm the Andy.
Yeah, it gets confusing. And I'm sure our voices all sound the same, too, so everyone's confused at home. So, first off, I'm a big fan of the show. Thank you very much. As an elderly gamer in my 20s, I'm finding that I know my personal gaming preferences better than ever. That's a low blow, by the way. Before a new game releases, I can check out some previews, and I know immediately whether I'm going to enjoy it or if it'll just fall straight into backlog purgatory, which is, I'm going to take a quick moment. Knowing yourself and what you are as a game and what you like as a game, that's a great thing to be, and a great place to be, by the way. I definitely, someone will go, that's a great game, and I'll put it in for 3 seconds, and I'll go, not for me, it ain't.
Yeah.
However, sometimes I encounter exceptions. The last turn-based RPG I ever enjoyed was Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, which is a long time ago now. That's a long time ago.
1,000 years ago.
There it is.
Sorry.
No, that one was great.
In the 16 years since the game's release, I haven't been able to enjoy any turn-based RPG whatsoever. That is until last week when I started playing Divinity: Original Sin 2 and became completely enamored by it. Good choice.
Game's
By the way,
awesome.
It's a good game. That's a good game. So I imagine you guys have a pretty good idea of what games you're going to enjoy before getting your hands on them, as we previously discussed. My question is, what are some exceptions? What games did you enjoy that you typically wouldn't have, and what helped you enjoy them? That is from David Inman from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Thanks a million.
God of War, the new one.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, I'm just, as I only played through that game because I was in Game Club, and I was not having a great time until that halfway point, until things change in that game. I don't want to, no spoilers, right?
I know what you're
Until
talking
the
about.
Do you say as your arsenal changes? How about that?
we can say that.
Yeah.
So I would not have even made it to that point in that game if I wasn't on the Game Club and doing all the discussion we had on that, which if you want to know more, you can check out the Game Club because there's long and lengthy diatribes on both episodes of that. But I guess I typically gravitate toward more like multiplayer-oriented experiences and stuff like that, online, big group play games, MMOs, MOBAs, card games, all that kind of crazy stuff. The typical narrative AAA, I guess, for lack of a better bucket to throw that thing in.
The best type of games.
Yes, the best type of games don't always
I don't
always
play
catch
them,
me.
is what you're saying.
They don't always catch me. It's surprising to me when they
Yeah.
do, honestly.
There's so many different paths through games.
That also
Right.
blows my mind as someone who loves Dark Souls and like
Yes.
those kind of like third person action games.
They are.
That is what they made with the most recent God of War. Obviously, with more like Zelda and exploration elements to it, but like
Oh boy, this is a whole discussion here. I guess with the Souls likes and the Souls games specifically, it's not that they don't adhere to the sort of the structure, I guess, for lack of a better.
There's not a defined narrative structure to it. You're getting piecemeal story, but it's not
Yes.
like point to point to point, right?
Yeah, and I get that. I guess I don't like guided experiences as much.
Yeah.
It's surprising to me when they do, when it's just like, here's how to throw your axe, here's how to do this thing, here's this boss you know is coming. I always like. I guess I gravitate more toward the surprise and lack of guidance. Now, again, this is just me.
So you assume, I'm just kind of reading through the lines here, that a AAA game, because it's going to be for everyone, is going to have more of those bumpers to keep you in the lane that
Okay.
you don't like.
That's
would
fair.
Would that be a way
That's
to put
fair. And
it?
it's not that I don't like them. It's that that can turn me away early.
Gotcha.
I can be
Sure.
like, all right, I've had enough. Where I don't want to do any kind of tutorial. Just throw me in the deep end and let me figure it out.
But you loved God of War. It's a good
I did.
game.
I did end up I'm super glad that the game club forced me to play to that point because I was like,
what would you score it?
I don't know.
Clock's ticking.
An 8.5.
All right.
Did you just pull that up because that was your Nioh 2 score?
No, no, but that's
just
a really
wondering.
tough thing to do on the spot.
It is.
Well,
It would
I
be
mean-
between an 8.5 and a 9.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right, all right. All right.
Okay.
Just curious if you'd be like a 8 or 7.
No, come on.
You said the first
come
half
on now.
didn't do it for you.
It didn't.
That's a lot
And I
of
would have
game.
bounced off it. That doesn't make it a bad game. We're talking about stuff
Yeah,
that
you know you like.
All
yeah,
right,
no,
just
there's-
asking.
Everything is here. I mean, God of War for me is like 9, 7, 5, 10 territory.
Yeah.
That game is so good.
Yeah. Dan,
for
not
me
to go
personally.
not to go too off. Did you beat the Valkyries? That seems like a
No,
Dan
didn't
thing.
do that.
Okay.
As soon as I finished it, I was like, all right.
I'm done. Yeah.
But it's not because I didn't like it. I
Yeah.
really did enjoy that. But like,
Yeah.
so, man, it's just like, okay. I think I've said all I want to on this.
Yeah.
I think you did a fine job. Yeah, describing that. For me, MMOs are just too much of a time sink. I like to play everything.
Yeah.
And I know saying I don't play MMOs means I'm not playing everything, but the Old Republic, because it was Star Wars, was
Yeah.
just kind of like, I have to play this game. And that pulled me into that MMO experience. So that would be mine of like,
An exception
The
to the rule.
license-
Yeah.
made me play a game that I've kind of vowed not to just because of the time it takes.
It's because you know you'd like them too much. That's what it is.
Well,
That's
I
why.
played-
That's why I'm
because
scared
they're
of
too
those.
good.
Yeah.
I played
exactly.
EverQuest with you,
Yeah, you did.
and I played
And
World of
passing, by the way,
Warcraft.
you were a noob in
Oh.
EverQuest. Just to be clear.
Shots fired.
That is a zinger.
I mean, let's be clear. In EverQuest, if you weren't playing thousands of hours,
I mean, it's true.
you were a noob. I mean,
It was-
the thing is, that is one of the most hardcore games
All right.
ever made. So it's not
Here's a little
necessarily
story
diss.
time.
Uh-oh.
The day I boot up EverQuest, Andy's like, yeah, I'll help you out. I'll totally help you out. Come join in. So I joined his server. I don't remember what it was. And I meet him in the first town. You know, I'm just new recruit. Here I come. He comes walking up with like gold armor and a flame sword, you know, like just looks awful. But it's like, he's like, okay, yeah, you want to do this and this and this. And I was like, okay, thanks. This. And then all of a sudden he's like, I got to go.
Have fun. Kill some rats.
Yeah.
And then he went off on his adventure. And I was
Right.
just like, wow, this is really intense. This is like a really slow grind.
It is
Like,
a super. God, I can't even imagine. Like, just even thinking about that. How did that game even exist? It could never exist in the world today, right? Like, you have to struggle to get like a .002 out of your XP bar against like a.
To get,
A
to get
rat.
outside the gate of the first city is
Yeah.
a struggle.
And we were all
Yeah.
just sitting around, you know, like sitting on the ground, like characters just sitting in circles, healing or
It
getting
took
their
you like
magic
10
back.
minutes. Yeah, exactly.
It took a long time.
And you had to, but so before you got the talent, you had to look at the book. Your screen was literally the book.
book,
while
yeah.
you were looking at it.
You know, to be fair, that was the exact same experience someone else did to me. Someone who worked at Capcom at the time I walked up and I didn't know that you could change things or who this was. It was just their name, which for some will know was my friend Nobunaga.
Mm-hmm.
Walked up and started giving me things, and I was like, "What's going on?" And it was like, "You're on your way. Good luck." You know what I mean? And run on. And I was like, "Okay, all right." And I was like, "I guess I'm somewhat overpowered, but it's a similar experience. I didn't want to spoil it for you, Reiner. I
Sure.
wanted you.
There you go.
I wanted
You
to
went off on
understand.
your grand adventure.
I had dragons to
I was
kill.
eating rats to survive.
Yes.
Yeah, there's that point.
And it's also the best part about that game too is that I knew that you were going to leave that town, go out and kill rats, and slowly work your way across and go like
Kill an orc.
kill an orc, yeah, and be like, oh, that's a giant. I shouldn't mess with that hill giant. And then you were going to go to the next zone, was going to be the Desert of Ro, and you were going to get annihilated and
I
hate
did.
your life, and that
And I
is
did.
so great.
That zone was like Nioh. That whole
that
zone is
zone
like
was
the
so
Nioh
like-
zone.
Is that with the waterfront and the crocodiles?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
And then the
desert.
giants would
got
come
the-
down the
Yeah.
beach and just
Just
kill
kill all the trains,
Everyone's.
everyone's, and you'd walk in and you'd be like, "I'm zoning in, I'm zoning in. I'm dead. Why am I dead?" And he was, it was pure madness. Such a good time.
Yeah, I think I got up to level 30, and then I was like, this
That's
is
pretty good.
And then I played some WoW as well, so I
Yeah.
know WoW. But
Yeah.
you know, I had to bail on the MMO train because it's just intense.
How about you, Alex?
Yep. I am not good at fighting games.
Oh.
Just like pretty point blank. I guess I've never put the time in to be really good at them, But my buddies and I, for a while, really played Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and then 2. And I think it's the same reason for, as Reiner said, with Old Republic, the license 100% brought me in. I was fully into my Marvel fandom at that point, so I just wanted everything, and I knew how illustrious the Marvel vs. Capcom games was, so I wanted to be a part of that conversation. And we played for a while. It didn't fully stick, but I enjoyed my time with it. And then same thing with the license. I played Halo Wars. I'm not an RTS guy, but I think I played the first Halo Wars for like maybe 10 hours, and I was like, this is cool. And then I don't think I ever went back. So that's mine.
I mean, I remember you recently talking smack about your Super Smash skills.
See, that's a whole nother podcast topic.
Oh, okay, all right.
Fighting
'Cause I
versus
mean, like, it's a
character
You're
brawler.
saying the traditional 1v1.
Yeah, like 2D coming at each other.
Yeah.
I'll still 1v1 me in Smash. We'll see how it goes for you, but I'm not good at the.
I'd like you to go to
2D1.
Evo and stand in a crowd of people and say, Super Smash Brothers is not a fighting game.
Yeah.
I want you to scream that out.
If Evo happens this year.
If
Yeah,
Evo
you
happens.
have it.
Prediction.
Bringing that
Yeah.
up.
Prediction.
No, Dan Predictions is back. He's ruining Christmas.
Yeah, Evo probably won't happen.
Actually, that'd be really
Is
fun
Christmas
content.
going to happen?
Oh,
We can still have Christmas.
All right,
It's gonna be-
thank you.
it's gonna-
Thank you, Dan.
hey, if I was Santa, I'm not coming down. I'm coming to the
Oh,
North
man.
Pole. Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, like, he would get murdered if he said that.
Oh,
I think so. You'd
100%.
get
In
get
Evo?
murdered.
Yeah, yeah.
you-
Oh,
you'd
yeah,
get
yeah.
murdered.
Yeah.
That'd be
you'd
it.
get murdered. So don't actually do that. But I'm just pointing out, not calling it a fighting game, dangerous grounds.
Would you, okay.
Well, half the people would want to kill him. The other half would say it's cool.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Yeah.
But I mean, the people that would want him dead
They
would
would see it through.
They
Yeah.
would be very, very angry.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very angry. And by the way, I'd like to point out too, I still feel like Smash is one of the best watchable fighting game esports that there is, by the way.
Definitely.
And I
It's
did call
fun.
it a fighting game, so don't come after me.
Ooh.
Address those to Alex.
Yeah.
Hello.
So thank you again, David. That's a really interesting question. And if you guys have any experiences out there yourselves of like games that you don't normally play that you like to put in the comments, love to read them. I think everyone else would like to look through the
Yeah.
comments and see those things. So let us know
Yeah.
if you have any of those weird exceptions, but the game that changed it for you.
Yeah.
Let us know.
If you want to tweet your hate at me, I'm Alex Stadnik at the real Andy Mack on Twitter. So send it my way. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Wait a second. I think this is not going to work as
Wait a
intended.
minute.
So next question. Hey, Andy and the rest of the crew. With Control being added to PS Now till August, this puts Control as the newest AAA title to be added to the PlayStation game streaming service. Or and actually, not really streaming service. It would be their you
Right.
get a
It's not-
free.
yep.
You get a you get
Not
every
free.
month they offer a couple games you can download.
Yep.
So this brings up the question: are more games this new going to be as regular as Game Pass and the other services continue to grow?
Wait, did he say PS Now or PS Plus?
PS Now.
Oh, okay. That is their streaming.
That is their things.
Yeah.
So, but I
PS
thought it was
Plus.
it's a PS Plus game though right now, isn't it?
No.
No, it's just
Nobody knows.
PS streaming.
It's only PS streaming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that is.
So if you subscribe to PlayStation Now, you can play it.
Oh, it is PlayStation Now.
Yeah, you can't download
I've
it.
totally
So many
screwed this up.
there's-
I've ruined this. We knew I'd ruin something in the show. This is the one. So you're right. It is PS Now.
Yeah.
So it is a streaming service game. That is weird.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I
the
think
question's still valid.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think
yes.
so.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
100%.
sorry. I wanted to make sure we got that
I
right.
think this is good clarity. No, it's somewhat I was like, am I reading this wrong? And so you're right. So is this will this be beneficial to growing PS Now? So what are the newer games you think would be beneficial to growing PS Now?
I do think, obviously getting Control as a part of that is huge.
I mean, Control's. But number one, this is Eric from Fargo, North Dakota. Thank you, Eric. And sorry for my misreading on that there. Number one, Control's an amazing game. But did you guys see that Metacritic listed the top 10 publishers and
I did not see
505 games?
The 505 is killing it. I can't
It's
wait to
number
play
one.
Control someday.
And first of all, it's because they didn't put out that many games, to be clear.
Yeah.
They didn't put out that many games, so
Yeah.
it's there. And I think your joke is because it's not on Steam and it's only on.
I mean, I can play it on Epic.
No, he's AAA, right? Is that a throwback?
Oh, it was sort of.
So many
You got
avenues
it.
here.
You got
Oh,
it.
I
Going
missed it.
off the rails,
I
folks.
missed it.
It was. It was.
It's
It
so
was.
good,
It was
though.
a subtle throwback to that. Yes.
It's so good.
All right. I will play it. I will play it.
It's so good.
I'm gonna make the commitment. You know, if I'm not in a torture chamber for a week playing Nioh, I've got the time. I'm gonna do it.
You're done with Nioh.
I'm done with Nioh right now.
Okay, wait. Now we're going to go off topic here for just a quick moment. So, so did you play Star Wars? Jedi Fallen Order?
I did. I did not finish Star Wars Jedi
didn't.
Fallen Order, but I did play it, so I want that credit.
Okay, but I mean, like, if you didn't, did you not like it?
I won't say I didn't like it. I did fall off of it though. I just bounced.
Just bounced.
I was
Okay.
like
So you were enjoying it. You just,
let's see,
kind
I
of
don't know.
like.
You're part of the Fallen Order.
I was somewhere between the 8 to 15 hour mark, and I just, you have that thing where you go home, you pick something to play, and you're like, all right, well, it's not gonna be that one today. And once it's not that one today, then it's probably not that one tomorrow too. And
Yeah, I know how that goes.
I didn't do it. It wasn't like an intentional act where it's like I don't like this, so I'm gonna stop playing it. It just didn't have the pull.
I know Control's had some people bounce off of it, and I think that's a shame because I think Control's really good.
Yeah.
But it does have enough variety that you could choose your own path. I could see how you could hit something you didn't like, kind of like your point about Ori, that you could hit into something that you need to go and like explore and kind of think things through and revisit.
Yeah.
But good game, and I think, and I say this as I liked Jedi Fallen Order. I think it's the best like kind of powered game. Do you know what I mean? Like it felt like a kind of like you felt kind of like a Jedi sometimes in Control.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it had that like with your powers and the teleconnects and things like that. It felt really solid.
I would almost argue it did some Jedi powers better than
I
Fallen
agree.
Order.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt the push pull mechanics of that felt so good.
So that's a great game. But yeah, I mean, PlayStation now needs more AAA titles soon.
I would-
100%.
To counter what's being said there, I would say it's not a new game. When I think of a new game, it's like release day, release week. This game's already gone through the $20 sales. It's had its moment at retail and in the digital marketplace. I think it is now looking for expanding the audience.
Yeah.
So I think it's hitting there. New game needs to be on the first day. So you've seen that a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Outer Worlds on Xbox.
On Game Pass.
Yeah.
Game Pass on day one. That's
is
a big
Ori
deal.
on there?
Ori's on
is,
there. I
yeah.
mean, all Microsoft first party,
Right.
but
Yeah.
Yes.
Outer Worlds wasn't, right? That was
Yeah.
private division. So yeah, there will be times where that is a big deal, and everybody's like, "Whoa, I just get this game with my subscription. That's awesome."
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to see many more because publishers want to, they want the box office first.
Yeah,
right?
they do.
Do you
Yeah,
think,
they
do you
do.
think this is like a kind of going to be like a drip feed kind of thing where
Well, Microsoft
do 'em
and
a little
Sony,
later, a little sooner, and it just keeps getting to the thing until
Oh, interesting.
they're on the pass
Microsoft
program?
and Sony could pay for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's been pointed out. And by the way, I'm pretty excited about this. Like, I think there's a lot of cool things about streaming games, and so, but I do think PlayStation has historically dropped the ball on PlayStation Now since they brought on Gaikai and kind of started down that path.
And it's not just it's Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, Epic, Steam, Valve, Stadia. They could all get these exclusives if they $50 million, or it's
Yeah.
going to be expensive.
Stadia is going to pick some big ones up, I hope.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're all gonna. There's a battle of purchasing rights to games that Epic has started, and like everyone else. will
Yeah,
follow
and it's like
through it.
it's a completely wild new world there too, because now you're buying something different maybe than you were before.
But that's the interesting thing, and that's the thing that Microsoft's already committed to, is that like they're going to run with the things that they own to push that service, where Sony is still holding it at arm's length.
Yep.
Right, and they're definitely holding it at arm's length. And in this case too, I mean, I think for PlayStation Now, because I believe you can download a game as well. Like you can stream it and you can download it, right? When you're a PlayStation Now.
I think so.
I'm not familiar.
I'm not familiar either. But
I think so.
I
yeah.
think so. I think that that's one of those things that they have.
But that is a separate subscription than PlayStation Plus.
Yes,
right?
yes. So it's one of those things where it's all still a big mess, which is why I screwed up on it. I keep all these names and like PS this, PS that, and what you pay for is certainly confusing. But I think they do need to start putting more games there if they want it to be successful.
If they care about it.
That's it. I mean, they said they had 1 million people that are subscribed. They need to start getting them more
nothing.
games.
Yeah.
If you want to grow it,
I know
it's
what
got
you
to
do.
be big.
Unify the services.
Yeah,
and
it's almost
and
like
just PS Pass gets you everything, and you're in the ecosystem. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so let's say that. So we've said that for both Microsoft earlier. Now we're saying it for PlayStation. What do you think? This is a Dan Predicts segment
This
for the
is
whole
this
group.
is getting a tough Dan Predicts one.
Yeah, I know. But how long? A year?
How long?
2 years?
Not a year.
3 years?
3
4
years.
years?
3 years.
3 years? You think we have a all these services together as one on let's say on these main platforms. We'll
Yes.
leave Nintendo out because Nintendo's going to do what Nintendo's going to do.
Nintendo will be 2 years.
We
Nintendo
can't.
will be 2 years,
We can't predict that. But for like PlayStation, Xbox, you think
the one unified service with all their stuff, with all the current services.
you put them
rolled into
both
one
at 3?
model.
You don't think Xbox goes first in like 2?
I think Xbox Xbox might even be this year.
One will inevitably go first, and I think you guys are both. I think that's
Possible,
That's
yeah.
my assumption is that Xbox will lead the way in that because of what they've been setting up.
Yeah.
But 1 year under this current timeline, I don't think I can say it because of worldwide global turmoil. I think we're gonna gonna push it
back.
I'm gonna say conservative. I'm gonna say be a little more conservative and say 2 years, 3 years for both. God, that's a.
I'm kind of there with you.
This
on
is a
Sony,
really
3 years.
Now we're
Yeah.
getting into really difficult speculation, but yes,
Yeah, I
That's
see
a
Sony
big
like 3
change.
years. Yeah.
it is a big change, but things are moving fast now. I think this has been like it's a hurdle, and once you're over that hurdle, you're playing in new water, right?
Yeah.
This is terrible enough. Where
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
going with this, but you're in a new pool basically. Everything is different here, and the old ways are going to shift rapidly once that hurdle is crossed. Once we're like, okay, this is the way we're doing it now. Shift it all,
Yeah.
and it's going to be
There's
weird.
risk. Yeah, there's
oh,
going to be a lot of risk.
for sure.
A lot of money lost right out of the gates, but then hopefully it makes it back in the long
Right.
run, right?
So let me 2. We'll do 2 for Xbox.
2 Xbox.
3
All
for
right.
Sony.
All right.
Yeah,
It's not, I mean, it's not a
18
bad
for
prediction.
Nintendo.
Nintendo is give it 5. Nintendo.
There's also that thing too, and by the way,
Or never.
They may also just go down their own
Yeah.
path and not do it. By the way, I think that is a reality too. But
Sure.
like, I don't think your timing is wrong.
When the
on
books
that.
get opened, and many analysts who are far smarter than me have to make those decisions.
Yeah.
With like, here's the burn, here's what we're gonna get, they've got all the data, right?
Yeah.
Are we gonna put it into place right now? I don't know.
I mean, I think they're. I think the thing is they're so different in that like Sony has so much invested because they're in the lead now.
Yes.
That selling hardware is still so important.
Their current
Right.
And by the way,
Those
this
big hits, selling a lot of units is so important
yes,
that it becomes that much more difficult for them to make change.
and especially since their lineup is years ahead of what we know. Right.
Yeah.
They have these amazing titles that we have
Yeah.
not yet seen that are going to be first party. We don't, those have to be executed the same fashion because of how things are laid in stone right now.
Yeah.
I'm fine with some of these consoles being the same forever. I love it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
been my whole life. So
I'm not. By the way, I'm not.
it's a model that works.
Right, and I'm not actually against that model here. I'm trying to like this weirdo prediction is just about when we move to that service environment more so than we are now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's so hard because I agree with Reiner. I mean, I love a lot of things about that, but like there's a lot of things that I think just when you talk about reaching every person in the world to have everyone play,
Yeah, and that's like
that's where you start to get into that question of like, is that better? Which
Yeah,
is
and then-
what's challenging.
I mean, they're looking at Netflix and stuff like that and it's like, wait, how many billion are they down in debt? It's like,
Oh, yeah, it's
when are they going to
ridiculous.
go in the black? And it's,
Yeah, it's really tough. It's really tough. I mean, it's definitely, but it's also too, the problem is it taught us to be like, I want to hit a button and see the entertainment
Yeah.
and judge it immediately and move on.
I just want to do it, right?
Yeah.
No barriers, mad convenience, and it's like you talk about like the burn, like look at Amazon, right? Like if you own everything, does it
can do
matter
it,
when you
yeah.
become profitable?
Yeah.
you can do it.
Yeah.
Whereas Netflix is in a different,
Right.
different situation. Yeah.
Definitely a different situation, but I think games are fighting against all those services that are instant,
Yes.
Yeah.
right? And
fight
PlayStation
the
now
good
and
fight. Go for
PlayStation that matters to them being in that instant
Yeah.
entertainment world.
If you're gonna have the streaming service, it had better be amazing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you end up with false starts, bad launches that put the delay of this system. I mean, maybe we actually want that, because if you get another false start, that delays it by another few years, right?
You mean the launch of PlayStation 5?
Well, I'm talking about Stadia.
Oh.
I want to be blunt about it.
I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, okay. I
I'm
mean,
saying
I think
if you've got these services, they have to be incredible
Elite.
out of the
yeah,
box.
they have to be elite.
They have to be.
Yeah.
It's not something you can patch up later. It's got to be awesome immediately and be compelling to the user to say, all right, you know what? Maybe I will try this.
See, I would argue this in this case with Xbox xCloud
Yes.
and with PlayStation Now and with Stadia and if Amazon gets in the game at some point, I think there's a
That's a
reality
terrifying
that
prospect right
I
there
think,
too, right?
I think they might. At
What
some
if, what
point,
if you do push your chips to the middle of the table and Amazon decides they want to come in? The mammoth.
I mean, they have AWS.
Yes.
They have all that stuff. I
can
mean,
do it,
I
yeah.
mean, they're certainly prepared to do that stuff, and it's all out there. I mean, I think there's a lot of changes that have to change in the way they develop games.
I mean,
do you know what I mean?
again,
For the
that's,
cloud,
That's why this whole thing has been incredibly speculative, which I think people are going to enjoy it, but at the same time, like,
it's got to change.
We're out there, man.
Yeah, and it's changing at a root level that's still a ways away.
Right.
And I think that's one thing. But I think the difference is like, I mean, when Netflix first came out with the digital thing, everyone was like,
I had my discs.
everyone was like, why in the world would I ever do that? And then they were like, we're going to cut it off and do it as a different subscription. Everyone was like, this is the worst decision in the history of decisions. And we all learned that those decisions didn't matter. And that rollout didn't matter. And all those things didn't matter. So I do agree that there's some of the stuttering that's happened for PlayStation Now or for Stadia or anyone else is real and a very real critique of them. But when the future and convenience happens...
When it happens, yes.
If.
You can add an if you want.
If you want to go the
if.
You can add if. I'm fine with it. Everyone can take your own stance on this,
no
right?
if for me.
I'm not an if either.
But
I think it's going to happen.
But a when is a long time, right?
It could be a very long time,
It
right?
could be a
very long
crap
time.
load of time.
But I mean, like, when if, right, those things happen, we won't remember that stuff, just like we did with Netflix, in my opinion.
At a certain point, 5 years after it does happen, you're like, wow, well, how did we ever do it the old way?
Yeah.
It's always how, that's how these technologies go.
So Eric from Fargo, good question. I know we got a little bit off topic there, and I butchered it very bad at the beginning.
Yeah,
actually, I think we nailed that on such a meteor level. Then that was meteoric. All right, we got all kinds of stuff in there.
We got all kinds of stuff in there. It was
Extinction event.
God no, please let's talk about those.
Lots to talk about there. And so that's a win for Control, win for PlayStation Now.
Great game.
And
Game of the year from Game of
And it
Formula.
wins for me when I finally sit down to play it.
Yes, please. Please, it's so good.
I just said.
Sorry, I know.
Not an if. This is going to be a win and soon. I'm going to make the effort.
And so, and let's see where that goes. And I think there's a lot of games that they could do to make that more motivating for people and get them involved. My name is Kane. Hi, Kane. And I've been a huge fan of GI. And he did huge in all caps, by the way. I want to point that out. All caps.
You got to yell that.
Yeah. I don't want to hurt anybody's ears.
Don't.
Like, there's people listening that they want, but it's all caps,
All
right?
I would have screamed it.
Soothing tones.
Big fan.
Okay.
Biggest.
I am having a bit of a crisis with Animal Crossing releasing soon. I'm a little light on funds and do not own a Switch. I can convince myself to get a Switch Lite and still be fine financially, but I'm worried I'll miss out on the full experience of the Switch. Thanks, and keep up the great work.
What's the difference in price between a Switch Lite and a Switch?
$100. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought he was going to say, I'm worried I won't be able to eat.
Then maybe
Which, by the way, I have made that choice at one point
We've
in my
all been
life.
there.
I've been there. I have been like...
But his worry, what he said after, I was like, oh, that's nothing.
I was like, I can do ramen for the next 2 weeks and get this game.
Yeah.
I think the Switch Lite is the way to play. I never play on my TV. I'm all, like 99% of the time I play my Switch mobile. So I view it as a handheld console. I know it has the hybrid option, but
I mean,
I love my Switch just on the go.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Reiner. And actually, it was amazed to me how many people were so mad when Switch Lite was brought up. They were like, it's called Switch. If you can't Switch, that's not a Switch anymore. And if you can't play it on your TV, that's the experience I want. And I was like, that's great. Do you know what I mean? But I think this is a great option for someone like me and you, apparently, who really just only want to play it on the go. I feel that's where the magic happens for Switch, right?
I agree.
But so I think to answer your question, we don't think you're missing out.
No.
Unless you really think you're going to play it on your TV, then maybe save up, eat ramen for a week.
Yeah. And I was going to say, too, like, it depends on the game. Like, if he wants the Breath of the Wild experience all the way through, then the Switch on TV is great. But there's only, I'd say, maybe like 5 or 6 games docked mode that it's like I have to play it on, but I love playing it in my bed and like, on the go. So I'm tentatively agree with you guys. I am always going to get the version that I can have the option to switch to the TV, but that's just me. But I think for Animal Crossing it's totally fine. Just you don't need the stationed experience for that.
Yeah.
And some people say it's more stable. Right, it's just a little bit better because it doesn't have those Switch things. That there are things that are positives, by the way.
Yeah.
Not all of those things that you're giving away are negatives.
Yeah.
Dan, you seem to have
you
have some kind of comment here.
Oh, I'm just gritting my teeth knowing that I really want to play Animal Crossing, but I just like playing anything on the Switch. So I have to come to terms with that.
Wow. You don't like playing any games on the Switch?
I just don't like playing games on it. I like games on the Switch. I don't like playing games on the Switch.
So do you always play it in docked mode then? Do you feel like that's the only way you can play?
I have it docked most of the time. I have not, again, it's only been one podcast since we last talked about.
We talked about last time. You don't use it on the plane, which I was like blown away by.
I have never
for
taken
all the
it
travel
traveling.
you do. You
I
don't
have
take
never
it.
taken it traveling.
I literally take
You're
it with
watching
me.
Paul Blart on a flight instead of playing Switch.
What does that
I know,
tell?
it's
What does that?
ridiculous.
What can we extrapolate from that data?
That is a bad
wrong.
decision. Is what we can get from that. It's
Okay,
a bad
that is probably a
decision.
bad decision.
Bad time management.
That I will give you, but I didn't have the Switch when I watched Paul Blart. Okay, to be fair, so that's not a fair comparison. But I have never used the Switch on the go.
So it's just not comfortable in your hands.
I think that might be it. I don't know. There's something distasteful
Have
about
you
it.
ever
It's
tried
gonna
it?
be-
Have I ever? Yes, I have.
Okay, I just want to
I've
make sure
taken
that
it,
you're just like
taken it into bed.
Yeah.
Okay, and tried to do like the how I use my iPad and phone. I'm a voracious bed iPad user. Like I don't put that thing down for an hour after I lay down. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And it's just like I should. And the DS. You know, I played the DS for ages in the same format. Whatever
All right,
it is.
that form factor was not good.
I agree. I hated play, but I still did it. I don't know whether it's maybe
Interesting.
it's just too big. I
Well,
don't get it.
I was gonna ask, this is a weird question to start, but
Yeah.
do you have big hands? Like, is it just not
I don't
comfortable
have
in
big
your
hands, no.
because I got some paws
I have
here.
fairly
Yeah.
regular or even smaller sized hands.
They look pretty small.
Yeah.
So it should be, I'm nimble.
Yeah.
Well,
okay?
it's not fair versus Alex. I mean, Alex is a mountain man
Yeah,
back
Alex is a
there.
mountain,
You know what I
so-
mean? Like
I grab trees by the roots.
yeah, exactly.
Rip them out.
I can't figure it out, and I've been like, there are Switch games that I like. There's Switch games that I play, and I'm definitely playing Animal Crossing. So I got to figure out a way to negotiate this with myself. All
Well,
right?
then that's probably the best answer for you, Kane, is that you do have to negotiate for yourself. But I think in this panel, most of us believe you're not going to lose out.
Yeah.
Going out. If you're fine playing games on the Switch, maybe borrow a friend's.
Mine's a personal issue. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, and other people may have that same thing. I mean, by the way, by how angry people were when the Switch Lite was announced, there's obviously people who agree with you.
Yeah.
Out
Well, I'm
there.
not. But see, the thing is, I'm not taking a shot at the Switch Lite. I'm just saying, like, I just can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you
I
like to
can't
play.
navigate the Switch in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if you got a chance to play someone else's to make sure you liked it, that's
Yeah.
worth it. It's worth a shot. But I mean, I think more often than not, the Switch Lite is. I actually, if I could go back in time, I wish my Switch was a Switch Lite.
There you go. Get the
Wow.
Switch Lite and be confident about it.
Yeah.
That's an endorsement right there.
And let us know, like, what happens. To be continued.
Yeah.
We'd
Yeah.
like to hear from you again.
So thank you for that note, Kane. All right, next up. Hey guys, I was listening to the discussion about older gamers not being able to keep up with their younger competition, and I wanted to write in about my experience as a younger 24 player. By the way, this is the second person that said they're like in their 20s and like
And they're old?
They're old, it's the kind of thing. So
Guys,
it's like
the
it's kinda
bones
crazy,
start
kinda-
creeping. I don't know what to tell you.
I know. I think it's your fault, Alex, when you were like, 25 over the hill. I'd like to point out that I thought it's important to note that some games are more suited to older players, and even in competitive situations, older players can be better players. I play Elder Scrolls Online mainly, and most of the people I play with, I'm the youngest of the group in the in-game trial scene. Most of the players are at least 30, and a good portion of those are 40-plus years old. Can you believe it?
Yes.
40-plus years old.
I've never seen a 40
Someday I'll be there.
MMO player. Yeah.
The
Wow.
younger players I have run into frequently won't try to learn how to do the mechanics in different content and fail hard when they try to brute force everything. Love the show, Zach. From New Lex, Ohio. New Lex, what a cool name for a city.
It's like a cyberpunk name.
And also, P.S. Why does nobody seem to like ESO? I started playing about a year ago, and it's been my near addiction since.
People do love ESO.
It's got a huge following.
Yeah.
Huge.
I've actually, it's one of those things for me to answer that question kind of quickly, is that like, I wish I had more time in my day because I really want to play it. I wish I play more. I'm a WoW head, and maybe
Yeah.
it's just a habit that I
You
just
only
can't get
get
rid
one
of.
MMO. Most people.
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, it's
to
an
do
MMO
two
and
would
it's not
be-
Star Wars, so
It would be tough.
Tough.
But that's a great question, and I think you're right. Like there's something to wisdom, to
So, yeah,
being
let me-
wise.
I actually, from my perspective, I play with a lot of gamers that are my age.
Yeah.
And I think that like they're way calmer in situations that I see younger gamers get very upset with. Like, you get frustrated at a raid encounter, for example, in an MMO.
Yeah.
The old timers are like, man, back in my day, we used to spend weeks on one raid encounter.
Yeah.
You kidding me? We spent like an hour on this. This is nothing.
Yeah.
And generally just chill that out, like, because there's a lot of fervor and fire in the younger group, and I like that.
Yeah.
But the older guys who are just chilled out and are like, yo, if we wipe on this for a week, it's still like half the time we'd spend on like some other thing back in the day. This is cool, totally cool, man. Just relax, take a break if you have to, and chill out. We'll get there.
Yeah, I think, and there's a lot of things like just learned game events. Do you know what I mean? Like I see something in a game that I've seen 100 times and like I know how that plays out. I think a lot of our talk last week was about how when you get to those games where 0.001 second matters, like and how quick you push that button.
Call of Duty.
You know what I mean? Like that's where I think it gets frustrating as someone who's not like on the thing. And that by the way, that is also played out by the fact that if you're a competitive pro at these high twitch quick response games, not only do you have to be a next level like have responses that are next level, you need to make sure that you go pro before you're 24 and over the hill. You know what I mean? Like
on the pro, like
28.
on the cusp.
28 is what they say is the cap.
28 is 100% I think is the cap.
Yeah.
I think you do see one or two like any sport you'll go like, wow, Cal Ripken wins
He's still
forever.
playing.
Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that
Yeah.
there's going to be someone who does that, does the Brett Favre who lives through more things than they should.
Yeah.
But and also too, I think for esports, and a little side note, I actually think it's gonna be interesting because a lot of them have like you need to be 18 in some cases to be in.
Oh,
Like
that's right.
a lot of these,
that might
there
go
are a
up.
lot of 15-year-old kids, 16-year-old kids that are showing that even that even younger are next level, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That are just
Yeah.
just absolutely blowing people away at how quick and how good they are at the game. So it's going to be interesting to see as we start to see pros that are, you know, really young and crushing it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The narrative I like though is more like Lord of the Rings, where the older guys are the more powerful ones. I'm just gonna keep that in my
Keep
mind.
that in mind. Yeah.
It's a good narrative. I like
Yeah,
it.
it is. It is.
We're all Gandalfs here, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's it's fun, but and ESO is a great example of how that can show off. So thank you for that, Zach, and getting to say New Lex. Like I didn't know New Lex existed, and I'm down with New Lex, Ohio.
Yeah.
New Lex.
New Lex,
Is it New Lexington? Did he just like cut it off?
maybe, but who cares? I like New Lex.
Yeah, New Lex is great.
It sounds like Superman's like, you know,
No, you don't want New Lex.
Yeah.
No, that's bad news. Don't live there.
the future.
Yeah, you don't want to live there.
So anybody else have any comments? No? No?
On to the next one.
All right, on to the next one. So forward. This one is a very simple question that has a little bit of just like him and Han it. Hey, y'all. If you could slay any sci-fi fantasy monster with any sci-fi fantasy weapon, which ones would you choose and how would you slay the beast? So I'd like to add to this. This is from Cheers from an Attack Corgi. Yeah.
Yeah. He was on the stream, or he watched the stream with us.
Yeah, excellent. Well, I mean, who could forget an Attack Corgi?
Nobody.
Exactly.
I'd like a little like fantasy, like play it out for me a little bit. You know what I mean? Like give me a little like D&D with that.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm standing on a hill.
Okay.
There's a nice breeze. My cape looks super sweet.
Oh, go Reiner. Just lean in.
Yeah.
Lean in.
This is what you
Yeah, I
wanted,
know, that's
right?
what I want. Let's do it. What's your
on.
weapon? What's your weapon?
BFG.
Oh, wow.
That's a good
Mixing
one.
fantasy and sci-fi. You thought I was going to have a sword or something dumb like that?
We thought for sure you were doing a lightsaber because you're a Star Wars
no.
nerd.
I mean, BFG.
BFG. All right.
I mean,
BFG.
you take everything out.
the breeze, the cape,
You
the
kill
BFG.
everything.
Everything. And it's beautiful. Green haze.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And what is the mystical monster that you're after? What is the sci-fi
Well, it's
beast?
got to be a dragon.
A dragon?
Yeah, like a elder dragon.
Like an elder dragon, like from Dragon Slayer, animated with Daphne and Dirk the
No,
Daring,
that
right?
dragon
No,
kinda
not
sucked.
that dragon.
That was a greedy, gold-hungry dragon.
Okay,
No.
not that dragon. Like, so what kind of dragon?
Let's go like one from Monster Hunter, like
Monster
one
Hunter.
of the ice dragons with the scales, the ice scales.
Okay, all right.
And
So
then
the
it's
classic
just,
dragon
and then it's just gone. There's no bones, nothing left.
versus
just
the
gone.
BFG. So what do we think? Does he win or does he lose? Does he defeat this creature with a BFG?
He's got a BFG.
He's got a BFG,
He wins.
yeah.
Okay, all right, he
Yeah.
wins. All right, all
It's
right.
kind of boring, but he wins.
Oh,
And then I level up.
you can't.
and then I level up.
Can't lose.
Then I level up.
BFG.
Dan?
All right.
That was, yeah.
Set the scene.
Set the scene. All right. So. All right.
sorry.
The item is a lightsaber.
Okay.
Oh, a lightsaber?
So I'm gonna go with
Color.
purple.
purple.
Mace Windu.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna go with we're in a kingdom. All right. And there's an advisor to the king, a wizard, an evil wizard.
An
right?
evil wizard.
And I don't know he's evil. And I come up with I find out that there's some plot to overthrow the kingdom. And stupidly, I go to the evil wizard. who then banishes me to the dungeons. They make me an outcast in the kingdom. He says I'm a traitor.
You've been tricked.
I've been tricked. So I stayed on there for like 8 years. I have a warrior's journey. As I escape the prison, everyone thinks I'm dead. I come back, right? So I come back to the kingdom. It's all in disarray. The evil wizard's taken over, of course.
Yes.
The king's in his throes. I go into the courtroom. I'm like, guess what? I'm back. And I do the gladiator thing where it's like the big reveal where it's like, I'm back.
Pull back the hood.
Pull back the hood. Then I just lightsaber, one hack to the head, just right off. Clean break.
Down the steps, right?
Yep, of course.
Yes. Yeah,
Very
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Down
What
the
do you
steps.
say? You got to have a one-liner.
I already
You're back,
used
man.
that. Gosh, that's tough. It's got to be good.
Well, we can work on the dialogue later. I liked your setup. It was
As you're
good
riding
setup.
back,
It was good
think
setup.
about that.
No
It's good
more
setup.
polluted words, old Rick Crone. Or
He drops the lightsaber and simply walks away.
But then he comes back later and gets it.
He's like, oh, I forgot
Right.
this. Sorry.
I
Oh,
need
my
that.
bad.
It's kind of important.
Gonna need that. See ya. Bye.
It's
Sorry.
rare. This is an ultra rare. It's purple.
You know,
I'm the only one with purple.
I didn't have a whole lot of time to come up with that. You didn't have to have a one-liner.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, this is all we're putting you on the spot. We're putting you on the spot. How about you, Alex? What do you got?
I am traversing a barren wasteland.
Oh.
With nothing but my companion, my dog, on my right. We're searching for supplies in the bombed out city. We don't know what's happening, what's been going on. And then all of a sudden, Ripley from Metroid drops down, freaking out. We're shooting everyone. Everything's going crazy. And then I'm like, all right, I got this. I whip out my Fat Man nuke launcher, send it from Fallout, shoot it at it. Ripley eats it, thinks it's going to have the last laugh, but no, it blows up in nuclear fashion right in front of me.
And then you die too.
Yeah.
I have the right
nuclear
armor.
fashion.
I have the right armor on.
Oh, okay.
But the question is the dog okay?
Dog's okay. I'm holding
Dog's
the
Does
dog.
the dog have the right armor?
That's
Come
not
on.
how nukes
I
work.
would never. No one got questioned on there otherwise.
Yes, it did. Ours were consistently
Yeah.
consistent
really-
with the lore.
There's
Do you
no
really
Fallout
think-
involved in mine.
Do you really think I would bring a dog into that situation where
just
it could
did.
be harmed?
We were
that could
literally
be
just said
harmed.
you
did.
I know that it's going to be okay. That's why I brought him along.
So he's got powered armor
You have to
too?
say that it's a magic dog. It's fine to do that.
Or
but
he's
you have
just
to-
got armor. It's
right.
cool armor.
I have to learn the rules of this crazy conversation.
The rules are always broken. It's however we can give someone grief.
We're not giving great, but it's a pupper being blown up.
No, I
He's
love.
not even adhering to the rules of the game he's referencing.
Fair. Sorry, I'm done. Move on.
All right, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
So,
I like
Rip
the
your
Fat
dog,
Man.
by the way.
yeah, I mean,
Speaking of Ripley.
as long as the dog's okay, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine. You took down Ripley. It was a huge explosion. Yeah, I'm down with that.
And your
I'm down with
dog's
that.
dead.
And
Yeah.
Mine's a little simpler.
happened.
Dark alley, a single dirk, a drop of poison
I like it.
drops into a puddle of water, ripples.
Not that
Right.
kind of Ripley. Yeah.
In the reflection, you see alien,
Oh, like
The
the
teeth.
xenomorph?
like a xenomorph.
a xenomorph.
Yeah.
You see the teeth coming out of the mouth, reaching around the corner.
I don't know if they've been, but
I
yeah,
vanish,
okay.
Dishonored style,
Okay.
reappear just behind the xenomorph. Deliver the killing blow.
You're dead.
No. The acid starts to fall. I dance with a twist. Away. Victory. Vanish into the night. There you go. That's it. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well executed takedown.
Yes.
That was
Thank you.
fun.
Thank you. Yeah. I like the backstab.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
It's very artful.
Do you have
It's
a
a
weapon
classic-
you would do it with?
It's just a classic dirk. It's just a simple dagger.
Okay.
Nothing extravagant.
Oh,
There's
the
no
dirk.
call.
Okay.
It's a
Wait,
classic.
I thought the dagger needs like a compass on it, and we need to like.
No.
Not even a +1. Just
a classic.
base.
Just a.
It's
All
a
right.
blue or green.
It's that
Dagger.
drop of green poison.
It sets it up.
That's what marks
The
it.
artistry.
Yeah, that's right. It's by the way, it's not the tool, it's the master.
There it is. See, there we go. He had a liner to go with it. That's good.
Mine was the tool.
Yeah.
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 It's a big tool.
Yeah, it's great.
It's almost like a big F. What F? What,
I don't know
would
what
be
that
the
could
F?
stand
I don't know what the
for.
F means in a BFG. I have no
Fun,
idea.
fun,
Be a big fun
fun,
gun.
big
fun
fun
gun.
gun.
Big fun gun.
For some people.
I think that must be right. Hey, Andy and the GI crew. First off, I think you're doing a great job hosting the podcast and look forward to it every week. Thank you so much. Tell your friends. My question is, with the naming of the Xbox Series Xbox Series X being so close to the Xbox One X, do you think average consumers, parents, grandparents, younger kids will be confused and not think it is a new console, kind of like the Wii U situation? Question mark. Hope you have a great weekend. Nick S., Marquette, Michigan. The UP, that's Upper Peninsula. For
Uper.
you, yeah. Yep. And so that's great. And by the way, does it even have to be grandparents to be
No.
confused?
The second it was announced, Twitter just blew up with game journalists, game creators being like, what is this name? I don't get it. Like, I'm so confused.
So, we have to be speculative again here.
Yes.
I think it's more of just, it's trying to get to whatever you want to buy, it'll work on your Xbox, whatever, at this point, right?
That's what they want.
said.
That's
That's
the
100% what they said.
right. So that's the
Xbox is the base.
so it won't matter. Yep, exactly. It won't matter for grandma or whoever's picking this up. It'll work on all.
They
of
can
them.
nit, but we'll still be confused.
But we'll still
I'm
be,
still kind of
you're
confused
right.
at times, right?
Yeah.
We will still be confused, but to the consumer who doesn't understand the differences between the products, it won't matter.
It won't matter.
because
No
the game
matter
will
what-
run it.
Yeah.
No matter what you get, all of this stuff will work on it.
for the first few years.
That's a great positive view on that.
I
give
agree.
you
I'm
that.
trying,
I
I'm
give
trying
you
to
that.
have that approach to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's just when you reference it in conversation, what do you call it?
When we get more technical about it, yeah, it breaks down. But
When they announce 3 different ones a year from now,
yes, yeah.
what are we calling it? Are we still calling it Series X? We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to turn into a Seinfeld episode, for lack of a better term.
Theoretically,
You know what I mean?
it
Like,
won't matter what we're referencing, because it'll
Yeah.
all be fine and dandy
Yeah.
because it'll work on all of them.
But yeah, there could definitely be some clarity. We've had some of even those arguments about how we talk around here, because
Yes.
we could literally be having this conversation. When the Xbox comes out, what do you think the Xbox is going to do about the Xbox? And it would be a sentence
Yeah.
that makes zero sense,
Yep.
which is the problem. Because even you can come in and be like, walk into a store and be like, hey, I'm looking for the new Xbox.
So that's I
that's
think it
the
makes
thing.
it way more difficult for us, but I actually think in the long run it makes it easier for the uninformed consumer.
But I mean, like, if grandma buys you an Xbox and buys you an Xbox,
Yeah. As long as
buys you an Xbox, even like whatever Xbox
Cloud.
just whatever, and shows up
X
and you
whatever.
wanted a different one, you will be disappointed, and you
Yeah.
will probably
Yeah.
mock your grandmother, which you shouldn't. You should all love your grandmothers,
Yeah.
but I mean, like, you'll be mad because you'll be like, I didn't get the console I wanted.
but your
right?
game will still run on it.
Yeah, your game will still run on it. Yes, yes. Are you working for Microsoft now? Just
No.
double checking.
I'm the
Double
opposite.
checking. Just
You know,
double
I-
checking. All right. Hi, Andy. Last week's chat about ways to relax triggered an old memory of mine from early days, World of Warcraft.
Uh-oh.
I had this day where I walked through some tunnels and emerged in Winter Spring. Andy, you'll know where that is. You're right, I do. And there was a little lake, and this player was stripped off. What was stripped?
Whoa. Hey, can you read the rest of
Yeah, I
this?
can.
Yeah.
Too hot. Is this
I'm
a
gonna change that. Yeah, a little bit. Had stripped off their armor, I should say, in the water fishing. So I did what any normal person would do and messaged this person to find out what they were doing. Character response: I didn't want my gear to get wet. So part of me felt this player was bat crazy.
Well, I got it.
But another part of me was envious of how immersed this player was in his or her game. So my question is, what's the most immersed, invested you guys have been in a video game? Shout out to Alex. He has brought such a homely feel to the podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I haven't.
Michael from across the way in Australia, and thank you for that. So yes, it's talking about people who really get into it.
I have a good one here.
You do.
All right.
This one is also World of Warcraft related. So I was in this guild for 6 years or so, the same community of players. This was classic WoW as well. So I actually began erratic behavior in the game to try to build up this mystery. And eventually this mystery became to be called the Secret of Skullomance, because everybody would wonder why I was in Skullomance. So if I was in game and I wasn't doing anything, I would just go sit in Skullomance. And everyone's like, dude, he's up to something crazy in there. He's getting all this gold. He's bringing all this gold back to the auction house. What is he doing down there? So then I'd go on like little trips because I knew they were watching my movements, right? They actually had guild people in the guild start
You were
following-
performing.
Yes. They actually had people in the guild start following me, and I'd go to like completely bizarre areas where no one would ever go. Like that troll village that has nothing in it. Like the one it's in Darkshore, above Darkshore or whatever. There's a troll village up there that never got.
There's a bunch of those, I feel like.
Yeah, but they're like there's like 2 NPCs. They don't talk to you or anything. But there's just it's an empty space that you have to like really go along a zone wall to get into and go above the realm, whatever. So I'd go in there, like just like hang out, like go talk to the NPCs you can't talk to, and like just start doing things, and like people were watching me doing this. Like, all right, we're trying to get this together. This went on for months.
Yeah.
And to this day, I've never told him that it was all actually BS.
And until now.
Until now. And
Until
now they're
now.
gonna-
Whoa,
this one
world
guy,
revere-
this one
reveal.
guy spent months
Trying to figure out
what the hell was going on in Skullman. No,
And,
it's,
and you were just like sitting at your computer eating
yeah.
nachos, weren't you?
yeah,
You
of
just
course.
like,
I was in the South Park guy, right? That just going. He's totally gonna hate me when he figures this out too, because he spent days down there trying to figure out what it was I was doing in that dungeon.
Wow.
Like I don't know, like the guild itself, like this crew, they had there was like a detective crew of like 5 players that were like all tracking movements of what I was doing in the game and trying to figure out exactly what the secret was. There was no secret.
yeah, that's great. That's a good trick.
That's unreal.
Reiner.
I'm going back to EverQuest actually. So
See, MMOs are where stories happen.
Well,
Emergent storytelling.
Yes.
I was playing with someone from Capcom. Someone else, you know
Yeah.
who it is.
No.
I can't even say the name of the in-game character name because
Yes, yeah,
it's
yeah,
the
yeah.
same.
Yes.
But I'm with this person and we're going in this dungeon and we realized we're not powerful enough, so we needed to join a guild. So we ran into, I don't know, we were talking on the chat communication, server-wide, whatever, found a guild, and we went over and met this guy in front of the dungeon that we wanted to go in. And he was going to let us into the guild and be a part of it so we could raid with them or, do whatever we needed to in the dungeon.
Get the benefits of being in a guild.
Yeah,
Yes,
or
yes.
a party, or I guess a party, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, we're going to let you in, but you got to recite after me. And, Matt and I are oops.
Oh,
My friend and I are in our private chat, and we're like, is this real? Like, this has to, he's joking around. And then he recited this line that was like, swear upon, the sword. And so we're like both typing it down.
And you guys
sending
did it.
We did, but it
Yeah.
was like 15 lines of dialogue.
I believe that.
Swearing allegiance to this guild and
Yeah.
the players and like the rules we had to uphold. And, in our private chat, we're just like, this is nuts.
You might have been being trolled. That might have just
very
been like
possible.
that almost sounds like an old
No.
school trolling.
But
Like
no,
I can
these-
make these idiots repeat this stuff.
Well, we ended up being idiots playing. We used to guard benches and stuff like that and troll people. But, this was legit. Like we were in this dungeon with these people and they were hardcore, like role playing this game. And we weren't adhering to it and eventually got booted.
Yeah, appropriately.
RP guilds are
Yeah,
really weird.
appropriately.
But that was a level of like, this is like hardcore D&D. Like they're way into this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
as much as I've been vested. I mean, I wasn't, but I was impressed, to say the least.
To say the least. How about you, Alex? Anything?
Unfortunately, I wish I could contribute to this one, but I don't. I don't have anything. I apologize.
No, it's no problem. I have a couple that I think are funny. One of them is that I always see people still in games that will like take some power they do, like a sword swing or whatever, and they will add a yell to it that will be so role play that I hate them so much that it'll be like, and it'll be something dumb like to infinity and beyond. And it'll be like, you're a paladin. That doesn't even make sense. Like, why are you doing that? And like, because it's a yell, it's zone wide. And I want, I'm setting this up here a little bit. Like, if I could, and it was a PvP place, and I could find them, I would go murder them in game because that is so annoying, and be like, please stop doing that. You're just annoying. And maybe they're trying to be annoying. And that's their immersion. But I will say there are people that do that annoy me. But I do remember joining a group, and we were doing a dungeon, and there was this dwarf, and I don't remember what his name was, but he would talk about himself in third person and scream his name after any time we beat something. So like anytime we'd beat, so it wasn't just set up to, he did not have it attached to a power. He may have had a macro set up for it, but whenever anything was like dead, he would like stand over and like Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of Terminator style deliver his like, that's what happens when you mess with like Dudley the dwarf. You know what I mean? And so he'd run around and scream like Dudley the dwarf. And I was like, I'm like, I'm so annoyed at you, but this is kind of amazing. Your commitment to, and I'm making that name up, Dudley the dwarf. But I mean, he did it everywhere, and everything would be like, so what do we do now? Dudley the dwarf wants to kill more. I mean, he just kept like going, and his commitment was truly amazing. And I was rolling.
Yeah.
I feel like there was so many of those experiences in like early WoW, man. There's some really crazy people out there.
There's some really crazy.
I mean, not crazy good, right? Crazy,
Yeah.
I mean, in a good sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of stuff that brings crazy flavor and color to the world. And I think that's one of the things I'm going to point out now is that like I've been watching off and on. I watch some of the role play stuff that happens in GTA, and it is
cool.
so cool,
Yeah.
and
awesome.
it is 100% this. It's 100% someone getting into a virtual character, playing a role, and having a really fun time with it. And I think it's super cool. I think it's really fun to see people take that stuff, because some of that stuff I was like, this has to be scripted. This has to be made up. When I watched like someone who was role playing being a security guard at a hospital, when like people were like running up in GTA and like telling people like, you can't park here. I was like, no one is seriously like trying to monitor the parking at a hospital. And they were, and it was hilarious. And these people like had created a world, and that enthusiasm is infectious.
Agreed.
It's definitely infectious. And a lot of fun.
Except if you're having me recite some lines of dialogue.
15.
It's a lot of typing.
That is a lot.
You so got trolled.
To swear to the blue sword of...
So good.
Sweareth upon.
Yeah.
So good. All right. Thank you for the question, Michael, as a great one. It's a lot of fun to answer. So we're going to do some GI Town. We had great GI Town offerings, but I try to limit it to one per week, so we only have the one. So this one is, hello, Game Informers. Love the podcast, even the longer ones, and I thought the town could use a clothing store. Welcome to GI Fashion, where we specialize in 5 outfits from some of our favorite games. Which outfits would you like to see in GI Fashion? Keep up the great work, and thanks again, Andre from Toronto, Ontario. Fashion games. There's a lot of, we've got a wide selection in choices of fashion within this world, right? I'm going to start us off. I think Cloud Strife.
Sure.
Like, wait. What he wears or his hair?
The whole thing, the whole
already done the
package.
I think
hair.
you get the whole ensemble with the
It's the
character.
whole ensemble. It's like
Okay.
it's like the weird like kind of jumpsuit with like
get
the weird
everything.
like kind of moon boots.
That's like on the clearance rack in the back.
No, this is like it's kind of a breakdancer / like I like it, like / anime like style that you want to put down. That's the one I throw out. I mean, like Dragon Ball Z's got kind of the same kind of vibe. Like they're all like it's a fashion thing, but I like Cloud as the choice.
Sure.
That's one of the ones I think we should at least put down.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Yeah, front window for all to see.
We don't actually have locations, but
But I like the role play
yeah.
here. Commitment.
Dante's cloak, the crimson red. That's a good look.
Just the cloak.
That's all you need.
I mean, he's got a whole ensemble.
you can have the whole Dante.
Let's do the whole Dante.
You could, but the cloak is
we can
enough.
front window the cloak,
The cloak
but
is cool
Dante's
enough.
the...
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying we don't want people running around in just a cloak in this town.
Not when they go to see Chewie.
No, yeah. Which, by the way, I want to get to this since you brought it up. So one of the comments I got this week, which is so funny, was that someone said you need a name for Game Informer Town. It should be Chewbacca's Prison. Was what they sent in, which cracked me up. That's Cody from Ohio,
That's great.
Iowa sent that in.
I mean,
so
yeah,
that one
Chewie-
cracked me up. So yes, no, we're not going to do Chewie Prison. It's a callback for anyone else.
It is
It was
definitely
Chewie
a
could just
callback.
rock the cloak. It's fine.
Sure. Good. Are you going to be wearing
Let's
the cloak?
do the whole Dante. Let's go
All
the
right,
full
fine.
Dante. Let's go the full
Dante is
Dante.
stylish.
Dante. No, Dante's
We'll
got
call it the full Dante.
Yeah, the full
And I'm
Dante.
talking about the white-haired Dante.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, he's cool. He's cool.
He's cool.
I'm going to go with Travis Touchdown.
Oh yeah.
The shades.
Yeah, definitely. He's got the style, at least the style that I like to wear around GI Town.
All right, Travis Touchdown. How about? I think of a fashion icon. Laura Croft is a fashion icon.
Certainly.
Though I don't know that I want anybody running around in the short. Like, not everyone can pull off like.
They're a little longer now, right?
I'm more worried
Like
about the
some-
dual pistols. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
They've
like,
got holsters.
Like
They're good to
holsters,
go.
yeah.
Well,
like
concealed.
it's not for everyone that fashion state, but she's got a wider range of fashions
Yeah.
that she's done over the years that she's done a good job with.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of her looks. And anybody else have someone else that they like, that their fashion style?
I'm trying to decide which Overwatch character I like. I think I like
Ooh.
the Soldier 76 vest, or his like jacket's pretty
That's
good.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's got 76 on
it's
it.
fine,
though.
but it's like you pick any Overwatch character, you pick like the most
I was trying not to go like armor, like Farah's in armor.
And people have asked us to be adventurous, but I also, when you bring that up, I love Tracer's got some good jumpsuit. Like action. I like a good tracksuit is a good style.
If it gets cold in GI Town, May's outfit maybe of help.
Yeah, I like May.
Yeah. I like May. I like May too.
Yeah.
Okay, this one will have a whole line.
Okay.
Different colors.
You're allowed that.
Yeah.
The classic ninja costume from Mortal Kombat.
Oh.
Get it
Scorpion yellow, Sub-Zero blue,
all. Reptile green.
Rain purplish black.
The thing is that mask,
Reptile green.
Like, the mask is bad. I would almost say
You don't need it.
Do the Ryuken. Do the Ryuken.
Also, the mask in the world of the coronavirus, it's great.
God. That would be one that I'm just not a fan of
Sold
the
out
mask.
immediately.
It would sell out.
All right. Well, we'll put it down.
We don't
Ninja
have
Line.
that in GI Town, though.
No.
Yeah, GI Town's
absolutely
perfect.
not.
Oh,
Yeah.
we'll just
we don't have to worry about it
yeah,
there.
just Chewbacca stuff going on.
There is some weird stuff with Chewbacca going on, but we like,
Yeah.
But we like Chewbacca.
I know, but it's not perfect.
It's not perfect.
it's not perfect. We don't have the virus.
All right. Any other fashion like a classic, like a I kind of like the skate punk Tony Hawk looks. There's like what I mean. Like
And your
you can
shirt. Parappa's pretty cool with the hat.
do- Parappa's a lot cool.
That's
Parappa-
let's get
Parappa-
I'm with
Parappa
that.
in
Yeah,
there.
let's put Parappa
You
on
want to put
there.
Parappa on
Yeah.
there? I'm down with
That's
that.
a good choice.
I like it.
All right. Anybody else? Fashion icons. Fashion icons.
I mean,
We've got to be more, guys.
the Assassin's
There are
Creed
so many, but-
cloak.
Oh,
like does that
what?
fit?
Hoodie.
The
Yeah.
hoodie. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Which
I would say Altair.
I'll tell you.
Oh, over Ezio,
Yeah.
the OG.
Yeah, I thought Altair's was the cleanest. You know, just look good.
All right. Altier's the fashion running around. Everyone's in hoodies. That's definitely a
Careful
thing.
when you're doing this though. Yeah. Got those hidden blades.
I don't think we should do any spacesuits. I think we should keep it into like
Yeah.
kind of like clothing kind of thing if we can. Any other ones?
Spacesuits are kind of clothing, but yeah, all right.
What about like do we feel there's like a, I guess like some kind of like super suit that would be like a skin suit that we think is good?
You guys are giving me grief for the mask. Most
not giving you grief for
superhero
the mask.
suits have.
I'm just saying I think the
We just don't want
Ryuken like the
coronavirus in our
reasoning
place.
the reasoning
is like
that
just
it's
better.
The reasoning, the mask is great. Just that we don't have the coronavirus in GI Town.
I was
Please.
trying to give color.
There
Sell
are
more.
a lot of
Sell
options.
more.
Yeah.
Which color would you pick of Mortal Kombat outfits? This is your idea.
I would go Sub-Zeros.
You
I'd
go
blue.
Sub-Zero, you go blue?
Yeah, I'd go blue. Yeah.
I'd go Scorpion. That's me.
I mean, like,
Yeah, they would match your SpongeBob shoes.
They would, though those are pink.
Yeah.
what's the Patrick Stars?
I had Patrick
Yeah, that's
Stars.
true.
I did Patrick Stars.
Yeah. I mean, iconic Nintendo stuff like Ash's get-up's pretty iconic. Mario's overalls
That
are
Levi
real.
deal they
Yeah.
announced with Mario, they
Yeah.
had those like Mario overalls.
Yep.
Like that's a look.
It is a look.
Yeah.
Not saying it's one we have to
No.
incorporate in our
You want
town.
Mario?
But, yeah.
That's for our competitor.
Let's make sure
that
we don't
crush.
We shouldn't do any like kind of like Donald Duck outfits that don't have pants.
No pants.
Right? Yeah, like none of those no pants.
Just the Yoshi
selections.
saddle. That's all you wear.
Oh boy.
Oh, you know which one I like? You know which one I like that we haven't thought about? The Shepherd.
Sure.
The Commander Shepherd.
That's a spacesuit, dude.
No, but it's like the space jumpsuit. It's not
It's
the
not
space.
really
I'm
a
talking
spacesuit.
about
I
the
get what
like
you-
the kind of like
All right,
I
it's
get
like
it.
the
No dome.
yeah no
No dome.
dome, but
Yeah.
it's like the like I'm in space and I'm leisuring,
Yeah.
Okay.
right?
Sure.
Right? Like I think that's a good one.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm with it.
That gives us some space thing. Or what
Right,
do we
you gotta,
like
you
out
gotta
of
have
this?
different styles.
We got the Cloud Strife, we got the Dante, we got the Travis Touchdown, we got the Laura Croft, we got the May, we got the Ninjas from Mortal
It takes up
Kombat,
most of the store.
Altair, Parappa, the Shepherds.
We only get 5.
We only get 5.
What if I'm feeling saucy one day and I just want to look like Bayonetta? Bayonetta's like leather suit. That
I mean,
an option?
she is a fashion icon.
She is.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
The heels, though, man.
Yeah.
Gotta have 'em.
Gotta be saucy, you know?
Do you go get the hair too? Is the question.
well, I mean, like
I mean, your suit is hair.
Yes.
Oh.
but I like those kind of choices because you got to have that kind of like Lady Gaga. Someone
right.
who's like living on the edge of fashion.
All right, let's
That's
right?
on the
You
other
know?
window next to the Dante.
Yeah, you
We'll
know?
get that one. We're doing
Yeah.
that one for sure.
That's classy.
Okay,
I like those two, Dante and Bayonetta, because
Okay.
I came
Okay.
up with Dante.
I would agree. I
Good
think
enough
Dante's
reason
got
for
a
me.
good style. I think people in GI Town would like to look like rock
Dante.
a Dante.
He looks cool.
I'd rock a Dante.
Yeah.
So Dante and Bayonetta, I think, are good choices.
Yep.
So the other choices would be the Cloud Strife, the Travis Touchdown, the Lara Croft, the May, the Ninjas, the Parappa, the Shepherds, the Altiers.
So we have elaborate in the front window.
Yeah.
I kind of like having a standard choice in there, either the Travis Touchdown or the Parappa, right? A little more subdued.
Yeah, just want to be just like chill.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to pick?
Well, if I'm going around being cool, it's definitely Travis. But if you want something a little bit more,
Well, let's do the Travis Touchdown. You get the sunglasses.
yours.
with
You
that.
do.
You get
Yeah.
that.
I'm
You
a
get
big
the
fan of
sunglasses with
shades
that.
myself.
Let's do that. Let's do that. I like that choice. I'm gonna go a little bit on my own way and say I like the Shepherd. I like
Okay.
this. I
I
like
do
the
too.
space. I like this.
No
like, I
argument.
like
The
that. I like
N7's a
that
cool
look.
look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with that look. So we now have Dante, Bayonetta, Travis Touchdown, the Shepherd. We got a last spot. Cloud Strife, Lara Croft, May, Ninja, Altier.
I kind of like the hoodie.
I'm with Altair. I think
because
that's
you
my
came up
choice.
with it.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I need
Let's do it.
2 on this list. Need to outdo Reiner.
I think
Whoa.
I'm down. I'm down with that. I also like the idea of the May because I love how adorable it is for
May
everyone
is-
to be walking
yeah.
around with the kind of like big puffy jacket on. I think that's a cute town I want to hang out in.
Yeah.
You know, like a bunch of people with hoodies on. That's the real world.
It's kind of scary too.
You know, like
everyone's
That's fair.
Altair,
That's fair.
yeah.
We don't want to scare anyone
Yeah.
in GI
I like
Town.
I like the just like chill
Sure.
like I'd hang out like with May like if
Yeah.
she's in the park hanging out I'd be like, what's up? You know, like, hey, what's going on?
Let's
You
do
know,
that one.
Altier, I'd be like, I don't know what's going on.
Fair.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
The May does imply that it gets cold in GI Town.
It
so it's not
happens.
the
Yeah.
perfect city
It's not no place is
It
perfect.
gets cold when we want it to get cold.
No place is perfect.
when you're rocking the May.
Yeah.
When
so,
we want to have Christmas, we have Christmas every week.
There you
So
go.
Dante, Travis
Boom.
Touchdown, May, Bayonetta, and Shepherd are our fashion icons for Game Informer Town. What
I
a
like
list.
that list.
That's
I like
what a
that
list.
I think that was one of the smoothest lists we've had out of all of the GI Town entries.
Really, all of them.
Out of all of the ones I participated in, they're usually a little messier.
A little
That one
messier?
went very well.
All right. Well, maybe we're getting better.
Maybe it's
Maybe.
Or
possible.
maybe there's a difference here.
Oh God, one of
Oh
those.
boy.
Yeah, all right.
God.
Yeah.
He knows.
Keep looking. Keep
Guy in the
looking.
box knows.
Yeah.
Let's see how he fares on this next game.
I set it up. I made it make believe.
Ooh.
So that is our standard questions. Now we get into a whole new batch of craziness.
Yes.
First off, I want to throw out a couple of the comments, which I do think was funny. Which this goes back to like the Chewbacca prison from Cody from Iowa, which made me laugh.
That was funny.
I really did. Another one was that one of our readers pointed out that when we did the arcades for our town, we did the top 5 arcade units for our town. The fact that Time Crisis wasn't included
We
for
discussed
even
it.
a moment during the arcade talk hurt me to my core.
We did.
We did mention it
We did
quickly.
mention it.
But I this person here is upset by it, and I understand.
I wanted to make space. Do you know how hard it is to pick 5 arcade games?
It's really hard.
It's really hard.
And I want to tell you this. The reason I brought this up is when I walked out of here and I thought to myself, I didn't even bring up Tempest. I could not believe I forgot Tempest.
Dude, this is the hardest one ever. You only get 5 arcade games out of all of arcade history.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
it was-
though. Time Crisis?
We
If
gave
there's
2
100 units, I probably
like
wouldn't
2
even
spots
play it.
went to classics immediately.
Yeah,
Then
I mean, it was tough.
It
That
was
was
a very
a tough
tough
one.
list.
That's a very tough list. When we run out of ideas for Game Informer Town, we're going to turn them into top 10s.
That's
That's what we're going to do.
We're just going to directly go to top
We're going
10s.
to do this content's going to last forever. I'm so sorry for anyone that hates that idea, but it's going to be it's going to be there and in ruining your day. For on. And then I'd also like to point out another comment I got that I thought was great from last week's conversation was when we were talking about the potential cities for the next GTA. This is from Stefan Gonzalez from Raleigh, North Carolina. As someone born and raised in Massachusetts, I thought about the potential for a game set in Boston. The city is often represented in movies and TV just fine, but I'm finding its representation in gaming severely lacking, considering the history the city has.
Yeah.
And it's like varied. You know what I mean? Like you get
You
a
just
lot of
you take
old,
The
new,
Departed,
blah blah blah.
You put it in there, and boom.
By the way,
you got a game.
you can see the future, Dan Tack, because his next line is, I could only imagine how incredible it would be to play something like The Departed or The Boondock Saints.
Yep.
And I think GTA has an incredible potential for this. Your
Yeah.
take.
You're
There was
totally
this question,
right.
but we don't need a take on that. We all agree. Great
No,
choice.
he's right.
Great
Good job.
choice. Great addition. So thank you for the comments. Once again, I read all the comments, try to get the ones out that I think really, add to our conversations from the previous week. So thank you. And once again, it is podcast@GameInformer.com. Keep them coming. Kiss, Marry, Kill. This first one is funny. This is not actually a set of things that we should go to, but it made me laugh, so I'm reading it to you.
Okay.
Long-time listener. I appreciate the new GI Show style. I'm a huge fan of learning something with podcasts. Opinions are great, but hearing facts or stories is what does it for me. So I appreciate anytime you guys tap into anyone's experiences with industry people or specific anecdotes. Great, because we're here for that. We will tell our stories. He says, here's his feedback, his criticism. I don't think y'all are getting the spirit of Kiss, Marry, Kill correct. By being more clear with the guidelines, the decisions get much harder. You have all been getting off too easy. He feels we've been getting off too easy.
Please.
Right? We killed Resident Evil on this show.
I killed
and he's
Final
like,
Fantasy
You killed
last
Final
week."
Fantasy last week, and we've been getting off too easy. So he has ideas about how this could be.
No.
And these are brutal. Like, by the way, we're not doing this. Just
Okay.
before anybody
Okay.
thinks,
Thank you.
we're doing this, we're not doing this, but I thought it was funny. So Kill is dead. No more ever. No way to be resurrected. You never get any more of that game ever.
Yeah.
I guess that was kind of my mindset going into this.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
me too.
That's putting more harsh tones on it, but that was
in
the implication.
The word. Yeah.
Ever. Okay. Marry is that you get forever, but you can't change it.
That was that
Nope.
was not the
Can't
that's
change
not
it.
the interpretation.
Good relationships are about changing together.
I think it's kind of a joke that people can't get changed when they get married. No way to make it stop or change till death do you part. It is safe and will still keep going, but you will never fundamentally change. That's tough.
Is this person okay?
I know. They think our lives are not so. So Kiss is what you get right now, as it's the most exciting, best, craziest version, but only once. Only once.
Oh, please.
Never to be seen or heard from again. It's a fleeting kiss. That's tough. That's tough. So Gary Pryor, I like your idea of making this more brutal. It's brutal enough as it is. So to go over the rules quickly, right? Marry is something we think is great and that we would like make a franchise for us as our own publisher. Kiss is something that we really like, but we're not going to spend as much money on. So it's like an indie game, offshoot, something like that around that. And Kill is that I don't make any more of those games. To your point, that part we all do agree on, though we didn't put it as like succinctly as you did.
No,
Yeah.
Gary needs to chill.
Yeah.
I mean, a wordsmith there. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
He also asked, by the way, he asked us about our history as GI and like what how we came to be and a bunch of stuff about that and just some more stories about the history of us being in the gaming press, which we've talked about in the past.
There are some really good. You should look up the 25th anniversary
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
It's
a great
really great
episode.
stuff in that
we,
one.
we talk about that kind of stuff. And I think, too, I don't want to dismiss your question, but I think that there'll be opportunities in the future for us to talk about some of that stuff because I do think it's kind of fun to talk about the history. But we don't want to spend too much time on our history. We want to look to the future.
We kind
as
of
well.
nibble on that like in every episode. There's
We do.
always some
I mean,
throwbacks.
that's part of the charm of the Game Informer show that everyone's listening to, by the way. I hear everyone's listening to it.
Yeah.
Everyone. Tell
Every
your
single
friends.
person.
Yes. Okay. So, all right. So, this is the hello GI crew. My friends and I have been playing Kiss, Marry, Kill over Discord, and we've been having a blast. We've slightly tweaked a little bit, but keeping the same feel. Make it yourself. Make it your own. That's great. But also picked some publishers by this. We like to pick games published by the same publisher. Right. So, he's got some picks for us.
Okay.
Pretty
Let's hear
good.
it.
All
Let's do
right,
it.
you guys ready to play? Okay. Here are the picks. This is based on the publisher Valve.
Okay. I can see the nightmare already.
I know.
I marry all of them.
By the way,
No.
he did a great job of these are good ones. So Left 4 Dead, Half-Life, and Portal.
Oh, no.
Surprisingly easy for me.
Surprisingly easy.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got, Dan? If you're the easy one.
Marry, Left 4 Dead, Kiss, Half-Life, Kill, Portal.
What? Wow.
What?
Oh my
good.
God.
Life is about making difficult choices.
I kill Left 4 Dead because we have so many zombie games.
Wow.
No.
But Left 4 Dead's not your.
No.
I'm sorry. Hold on. We'll get to you, Reiner. I am still stuck on
Here we
this
go.
killing Portal. Why would you kill
Well,
Portal?
you have to kill something, and I'm not killing Half-Life, and I'm sure as hell not killing Left 4 Dead. So
I mean, Valve almost killed Half-Life on their own. I mean, I know it's
They
like
did.
forever, but we're getting.
well,
we're
this
getting
isn't
out.
Valve's decision. This is my
That's
decision.
okay. All right. All right. And you marry. All right. You.
Marry Left 4 Dead. Love it so much, and I wish we'd see it back someday. Hope God, I wish.
I kill it.
Against all the co-op in that game was just Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. All right. All right.
And the swapping it up, I loved playing as the zombies. You guys probably already knew that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
like just having your friend, smoke him into the boomer. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Well,
As for Portal, yeah, it's fun.
I know you're listening to the podcast, Valve. So take note. We want more Left 4 Dead. I definitely think we should put that out there. Reiner.
I kill Left 4 Dead.
He kills Left 4 Dead. Right there.
Boo.
There's so many.
It's
There's
not just a zombie
There's so
game.
many zombie games. There's
It is
no
not
Left
just
4
a-
Dead.
yeah.
That's the
I
only
have
one.
2 really great Left 4 Dead games. Portal is just art. It
So is that your
amazing.
Mary? What's
No,
your?
Yes, what's your name?
I kiss Portal.
You kiss Portal.
Yeah.
Kiss the art.
Yeah, I kiss
So,
the
so the one you're
it's
marrying is an art. Okay.
It's all right.
But the stories, the humor, the puzzle gameplay.
But you're only
I
giving
like
it the kiss. You're giving
I like
it
it.
the.
I'm
all right.
kissing it.
All right.
You killed it, Dan.
Half-Life.
Yeah, I did.
Half-Life is
You marry.
Yeah, I marry that.
You marry the Half-Life.
Marry the hell out of that thing.
Okay. All right. All right. Alex.
So Dan Tack, is correct. I would marry Left 4 Dead. That series is so special, with especially how they did the AI in that. I love the characters. I need more of that in my life. It has some of the best shooting that I really appreciate, and it makes zombies feel fresh. Portal is so special because those stories are so isolated, and I don't want a ton of those, so I'd kiss it.
Wait
I want
a
like
minute.
another one.
Yeah, it's
Wait a
coming.
minute.
It's coming down the tracks. Choo choo.
And just like the
Whoa.
majority of my life, I am killing Half-Life.
Wow.
Because there are shooters out there that do what Half-Life does.
I don't think you can do that. I don't think you're legally allowed to kill.
No, I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think
See,
that's
bye.
great.
All right.
There you go.
There it is.
Wow.
Half-Life's great, but see you bye.
Well, I do like
mean-
so far how this is really divided. Like this has been very divisive so far.
I don't
I
like you
told
guys anymore.
This was a good. Once again, you did a great job.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
I think
a
this
good
is one of the best
This
ones.
is one of the best ones. So all right. So for me, I marry Portal.
Marry it.
I marry Portal, and I
only kissed Portal, so
yeah, I'm the only one. I'm going to marry Portal. I'm going to have to kiss Half-Life because I think it has a chance. But I agree actually with some other. Like I think I always say this too. Dishonored and Prey, the guys have gone on and made better Half-Life games, in my opinion. Has moved on. Valve needs to prove it to me. I'm excited to play Alex. I wish it wasn't in VR, but like. This is not me leaving you. This is you leaving me.
Wow.
By the way, it's the way I'm putting
Wow.
that.
that's fair.
Right?
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I mean?
fair.
Like
Wow.
that's how I look at that one.
That's
So
that's a heavy hitting.
it's tough love.
All right.
you know, I was in and you walked away. You don't show up 5 years later, knock on my door. Hey, I'm Half-Life. Remember me?
Yeah,
we used,
sometimes
we
they
used
do
to
that.
date and like
That happens, and guess what you're doing?
That does
you're
happen.
kissing it.
That does
I-
happen.
That's because I loved it so much. It's because I loved it so
You're
much.
saying harsh words, and then you're like,
I mean,
Then you feel weird
that's only
after.
because I feel like I can kill Left 4 Dead and feel okay with it. It's gonna hurt when I slam the door in the face of Half-Life when they show up
Sure.
at my, at the door, right? But that's it. That's it.
All right.
Portal's the only one that I know it's been a while, but Portal's as far as the relationship, we have the most honest relationship at this point.
Okay.
All right.
that's fair.
Yeah.
So-
Fair.
All right. So, I mean, these are good. Next one up,
Oh.
Ubisoft. That's right. Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rayman.
Okay. This is way.
You
easier
think
than I
Rayman's
thought.
getting murdered,
This
right?
is way
Yeah, you
easier
think-
than I
yeah,
thought.
all right. What do you got? What do you got?
Marry Assassin's Creed. Kiss Far Cry. Kill Rayman. Easy mode.
Everybody?
I'm right there with him.
All right. I'll throw some spice into this one. So I'll spice it up a little bit. I'd marry AC. I would kiss Rayman because I love UB Art and I love all the stuff that they've done, and I think that's one of the better platformers we've had in a while. And I'd kill Far Cry. I haven't had a Far Cry experience that I'm like, oh, this is it. And I love some of the villains' work that they've done, but it's just hasn't clicked for me.
I'm actually going to agree with Alex a little bit here,
Wow.
because, and this is the only reason I actually love Far Cry. The problem is that it just got too latched to being the same thing as everything else that Ubisoft was doing, and I feel like it really lost its originality. So, basically, when I pick Assassin's Creed, I'm picking Far Cry. This is once again this isn't me. This is you.
I like that logic.
Do you know what I mean?
I see
This
that
is-
point.
You know what I mean?
I stand by my answer, but I like your logic.
But I stand that, and I know because Ubisoft is listening.
They are.
Yeah.
that they will listen. And like, you can change this by getting out there, I think, and being more inventive with Far Cry and what Far Cry does, and get outside of yourselves and what you do and standardizing all those practices.
I agree with you on gameplay in the open world, but I love the settings they pick for both Assassin's Creed and Far Cry. Like, I'm always tantalized when they announce a new game. I'm like, oh, that looks awesome. I want to go there. I want to do that. Rayman is another.
I mean,
Rayman is Rayman.
He can't even hug you. He doesn't have arms.
He doesn't have arms. And by the way, Rayman.
Well, I guess you're just kissing him, though.
I want to say
that.
this. Like, Rayman, like, I like his world. I actually dislike Rayman himself. I think
dude,
he's a horrible character.
He is. All right. I'm just going to
character.
say he is. Like, we can say that here at this table.
Yes, he's horrible.
And I'm not married to Rayman as a character, let's be clear, but Rayman Legends and Origins were fantastic.
fun
They're good games. They're good,
the
really good.
platforming was so good.
Good platformers are good platformers. I respect them. Hats off. But man, if they were like, Rayman's dead, here's a new one.
like,
you know what
wow.
I mean? Like, I'd be like,
no.
okay, whatever.
He gets crushed by
like,
a rock, and then you're playing as that blue guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fine.
I mean, it would be fine. So that's an interesting one, and I might be making a political point with my choice, rather than like what it would be my pick, because I think I could probably
your choice
go the
is
other
your
way.
choice.
Yeah.
So, but here we go.
Okay.
Number 3.
There's more.
There's more.
At least these go on, Reiner. These go on.
All right. Bethesda,
Oh, here we go.
Doom, Fallout, Elder Scrolls,
Ow.
Kiss,
See,
Marry,
should have seen the
Kill.
ones last week. All right.
Doom. Okay, Dan doesn't have to go first. Let's let someone else. Alex.
Oh,
And you were taking notes. I saw you.
Yeah.
You busted. You were busted. I'm not going to let you prepare or have
Man.
anything. You have to go from your heart.
all right.
Oh, this is breaking him up.
Yeah,
this
he's
is
not
breaking
ready
him
for
up.
this.
This is breaking him up.
really, really tough.
It's not that hard.
It's tough because if you asked me this a couple years ago, I would have said marry Fallout right out, but it's just not. I think I'd marry Elder Scrolls, kiss Fallout, and kill Doom.
I can't say wow because that's mine too.
Okay.
What?
Bethesda's already killed Fallout, so that's dead.
Oh my God.
Murder.
Show over. We're done here. This is it.
I don't think I find it hard to believe that there will be a better Elder Scrolls than Skyrim. So I'm kissing that one.
And you're marrying
I'm
Doom.
marrying
Wow.
Doom because it is reliable and still awesome.
There you go. Wow.
It's an answer,
Wow.
Kind of joking about the
Wow.
Fallout thing.
but only kind of.
Hey, we'll see how the
Bethesda,
NPC
we know
stuff.
you're listening. Yeah, that's a good. Mine's actually really predictable at this point. I marry Elder Scrolls. I love it. I kiss Doom because I think there's the formula set. Just make more of it. Chef's kiss. Keep it going, right?
Yeah.
And Fallout, it's not me, it's you. Once again, you walked away from me. You decided to head down the Interstate 76. And you didn't ask me which way I wanted to go.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's why you kiss it though, because it could change. It
Could
could
change.
change.
That's
Could
what-
change.
I
It
went
can
with that
change.
philosophy.
It could
Alex.
change in April with NPCs.
Or we could just move on to the next one.
Yeah.
That's harsher than what I just said.
I mean, I'm going to say I agree with Alex. I wish they would have just moved on. I think you're attached to something that's got a bad vibe around it.
yeah.
Like even if you use the same assets, you just go do something new. That's my take on that.
That's a good take on that.
Yeah, so, yeah, I thank you. I think I have some good takes. From every once in a while, with enough takes, one of them will be good. All right, this last one is what about franchise games? I think it'd be hard to pick between Spider-Man, Star Wars, and Lord of the Rings.
Oh man.
Alex from Fallout 76 Land, a.k.a. West Virginia. And the previous one, by the way,
This
was
is great, by the way.
The previous
Alex,
one before
thank
was
you.
from Nick Duncan from Indianapolis, Indiana, which I should point out. You did a great job, Nick.
Yeah,
good
Nick,
good
great
list.
too.
And this one, Alex from West Virginia. This is a tough one too. So Spider-Man, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. I know it's a little tough. So this is my question for you guys. Do you guys want to change Spider-Man to Marvel, because those other ones are kind of universes. Are we putting Spider-Man at a disadvantage by leaving it as just Spider-Man?
Yeah, I think you change it to Marvel, and that really expands.
So
That makes it harder.
Marvel versus Star Wars versus Lord of the Rings. This is for games,
All right.
by the way.
Yeah,
so like,
I
this
got
is
it.
like games. So like, these are universes you can make. You can make an RTS. You can make
get it.
you can make anything, right?
Yeah.
So it's like the whole thing, kit and caboodle.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine if we had added like Harry Potter and DC to this.
Yeah.
If we could get to 5, maybe we should do this like tournament style. That when we get done, that whatever you picked as the Mary, never mind. I'm getting ahead of myself. Getting ahead of myself.
Who's starting?
Not me this time.
Let's go. Let's go, Reiner. Reiner. You're
Okay.
Because I know
I'm
you love all 3 of those.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill Lord of the Rings. I like old people, and Gandalf's cool, but you know,
My favorite part of Lord of the Rings is the old folks' home.
you know, I feel like it's kind of a one-trick pony in terms of, hey, it's orcs again, and you know what I mean? Like they keep doing the same kind of thing in all the timelines.
That criticism is hilarious considering some of the other brands that are in this.
Well, no,
Gauntlet laid down.
but hold on. I'm gonna kiss Star Wars
Oh, that is
in that same breath of, you know, lightsabers, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it has more depth than Lord of the Rings because, you know, there's different planets and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah, they never do the same thing.
dry,
Yeah.
ambitious.
Go on.
But there is the potential there, right?
Yes.
You would think.
Funny. And then I marry Marvel because it has so much variety and so many different heroes that could be different games and anything, right? Like you could turn it into whatever you want. You could have open world games. You could have MMOs. You could do anything with Marvel. Those heroes are so diverse. Spider-Man, Iron Man, Thor, like it's everything. So that's my answer.
I mean, I'm not shocked by this answer from you, but I'm also a little. I mean, like, I think more I'm shocked by is that you were so quick to move on from Star Wars. It's not that I thought you would pick Marvel in the long run, but I never thought in a million years you wouldn't have him and hawed for an hour and a half on this
did.
thing between the two.
I froze time in my brain. We had like a 4-year discussion.
So, all right, because I mean, like, it's official. Reiner hates Star Wars. Everybody, have you got that? I mean, like,
I'm kissing it hard, man.
the way Joe loves other M, Reiner hates Star Wars. Got it.
It's
Understood.
my mistress.
Yeah. All right. Dan, you seem to have comments on this, especially on Star Wars, and it's.
Well, it's interesting. I'm also going to kiss Star Wars.
You are also
Because
going to kiss Star Wars.
A New Hope, right? We have to have a new hope.
You have to have it. You have to have it.
Someday. It's not there
Badly
now.
did that hurt you?
But
saying
with
that.
some,
Hope you don't bounce off of it.
I mean,
Good callback.
hoping. That's why it gets the kiss. And now here's where it gets unusual. I think I'm going to marry Lord of the Rings,
No, wow.
and I'm going to kill Marvel because I don't want to see a bunch of garbage licensed games.
But
All right,
Lord of the
all
Rings
right.
is like
I have to make that choice. We have, it's a tough one, but
I don't follow your logic on that.
I
but
bet you got. I give him props. I mean, Lord of the Rings. I think we all have to say is like that's a birthplace of a lot of the fantasy things that we all love.
Definitely.
yeah.
Right. Like you got
D&D and Lord of the Rings,
It's OG. Right. Got to give it a tip of the hat. So I understand that. That's brutal too.
It's
Killing
brutal no matter
Marvel.
way you do it.
I'm glad you're not the new CEO of Disney.
Yeah.
Hey, they can keep making the movies.
Oh, okay,
I don't want to
okay.
see it.
Those
This
are
is
the
about
games.
games.
Yeah.
Not games. You just okay. All right, gotcha. You wanted to make sure the games. If the games were better,
I don't want to see an open world Doctor Strange game. Okay,
Yeah.
where he's just
Oh, tell me more.
wandering around, be like, you have to collect this many strange points to unlock the outer realms. It's like, oh my god, please no.
Wait, Outer
This is like a-
Realms,
this is like
tell
a
me.
This is like a nightmare. For me.
That's amazing. Strange point.
And then you get to the end of the game, and it's like, but now we're going to the multiverse. At that point, I just have an aneurysm, and then I'm done.
We just need to have the Dan Rips
10
on
out of
Marvel
10.
segment every week.
See, I love Marvel. I love Marvel.
I
a
got
lot.
it.
Sounds like it, bud.
Alex.
I'm kissing Lord of the Rings because I think you can make a huge Elder Scrolls-esque game spanning all the
Sure.
ages.
And the lore and
Yeah,
all the cool
there's
things.
some
that it's
really
got.
rich stuff
Yeah.
in there that I
Awesome
really
old
like.
dudes everywhere. Yeah. yeah.
That's the new big tagline for Lord of the Rings. Old people.
I am. I think I'm gonna marry Marvel because I've loved Spider-Man. I think I agree with Reiner. There's a lot of interesting games you could make outside of Doctor Strange open world, and I think my lethargic attitude on Star Wars finally takes hold, and I say goodbye.
You are committing the ultimate nerd sin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know what?
Feel good, man.
I've already angered the Smash community, half of it, anyways.
The ultimate nerd
Pete is
sin.
gonna be on me for killing my dog. I might as well just
You're all
just
in.
blow it up at this point. So
You're a villain.
yeah,
Full on villain.
I'm a nice villain though.
Yeah, I gotta say it's a tough one.
It is.
It's a tough one. It's really a tough one. I think it's like the thing where like when we killed Resident Evil, it felt bad, man.
It's the mark of a good one of
Yeah,
these.
you don't want to do that because you think they matter.
A good quandary.
But I think I'm going to follow suit with Dan a little bit, but in a different fashion. In that I am going to actually, this is crazy to me. All these answers are crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to marry Marvel because I do think that the universe can be empty, are more varied and can be more interesting if they do. Because I think Dan is right. If you just copy and do paste and do crap licensed games, it's a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the reason why I kill Star Wars, is because I know the new Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is good, and that's the step in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
But history shows they make a lot of bad Star Wars games. Like,
Well, they
just
all
make,
get canceled now.
Majority.
you know,
now they do have to cancel before they come out.
you know. And I know. And by the way, Battlefront 2 is good as well right now. I mean, it's not an
turning
empty.
a corner.
It's like I get it, but I feel like once again, this is it's you, not me. I'm making this choice because the choices you've made. Right.
They just won't expand beyond what's, known from the movies, right? Like they just keep latching onto those same things.
And I mean, that's the one thing I will say about Jedi Fallen Order was that it was the first time in a while that it felt like a Star Wars story, even though I have some issues with some things. I definitely have issues with some of things. But it was like a story that tried to at least tread some new ground.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've tread the same, droid joke, swashbuckler thing over and over and over again.
He played guitar with the Force. You've never seen that before.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's dead in your universe.
So so it's dead in my universe. It's a choice I have to make, and then I just think Lord of the Rings and fantasy is like such an important thing to like the games that I love and what I love. So I can't get rid of that Lord of the Rings thing. So I kiss Lord of the Rings. It's my choice.
See, I killed it because there's so much of it already.
And the old people.
I mean, they're dead anyway. Yeah.
So Alex from Fallout 76 Land, West Virginia, thank you. We appreciate it. That was a lot of fun.
That was
very, very good.
I'm all stressed out now.
Yeah. I need
So
to decompress.
That game can get stressful. Every
Yeah, I don't feel good.
It's hard choices.
Yeah.
Dude,
hard choices.
Reiner, last week they made me kill Final Fantasy. Okay, that's
Yeah.
We didn't make you kill Final Fantasy. You
got your
chose to
choice.
kill
it's
Final
always
Fantasy.
your choice. That's
It's
the fun
always
of the
a choice.
game, right? Yeah.
I mean, you kept Dragon Age, right?
No, I kept Dragon Warrior.
Dragon Warrior.
Dragon
Sorry,
Quest.
Dragon Quest.
Wait,
Yes.
why?
Dragon Quest.
You're a
I
monster.
got my dragon.
Well,
Yeah. Okay,
I know. That's the point of the game, right?
That's part of the game. It's part of the game. So normally this would be the end of the show. And we're by the way, for people that have asked for longer shows, delivered. We are
God,
well
yeah, we
on
got
our
it.
way
Set
on this
me
week.
free.
Getting long. But there were some letters that were sent in that some people spent some time making some games for us that were kind of crazy, and
Let's
I
do it.
decided we were going to do them. So we're going to go into overtime at this point and do a couple
Do you have a buzzer sound or something?
of extra
We're gonna need to get one.
Free
couple-
podcast
a
now.
couple extra games that people wrote for us that I thought would be fun to do.
Yep.
Okay. So, hi, Andy and gang. Knowing things happen sometimes. So would you refuse help from your favorite video game characters? Here's my game. Let's say you have a telephone number of any video game character in history. Yes? Let's assume Kratos has a cell phone. Right? I think I saw it like on his belt back there. I've listed 5 fairly common problems below. Which video game character would you call to help with each of these situations? So this is the game. Who do we call? It's like a little bit Ghostbuster-y. Who do you call to come in and fix this problem? All right? Number 1, you are on a date, a first date. It's not going well, and you need to get out of there without being awkward. Who do you call?
Oh, without being awkward.
Without being awkward. I have an answer.
Well, kick it off.
These are Suit Larry, because he is a disaster and will ruin everything in that thing, and you can sneak out the back door without any problems.
That's a really good pick.
That's really
But you
good.
have to spend time with Larry.
No. I mean,
he just comes
he's a
home.
disaster.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
gonna-
I get
he's
a
gonna come in
I'm-
and start
I know,
banging.
but
that's
I'm
but it-
literally Rodney Dangerfielding this
I
date
get it.
and
I
getting
get
out.
it, and
I mean,
you
if
know
that's
what?
the goal, I'm saying that's who I call.
That is an excellent answer. Wow.
I call him Pikachu.
What?
And the date's like, oh, he's adorable. It's great. And then I'm gone.
What if they don't think it's adorable?
They will.
The date's not going well.
He's going Pika Pika.
Oh,
It's all
all right,
great.
the move
and
there-
then I'm just gone.
And the move there is that like he's so cute, but look at how tired he is. I need to take him home and put him to bed.
Oh, that's the polite way, but I'm just gone. In my scenario. And then Pikachu's on his own.
so you're having a bad day. You're just offloading on Pikachu. Is what you
That's
you
like-
decide.
like
thing and
that.
I'm gone.
Like this is a horrible date. Here, Pikachu, you deal with it.
Either
Okay?
you're in your ball or you're doing this, bud. So, yeah.
All right.
Wow,
He's
wow.
definitely doing that. Wow.
Wow,
That's,
you
that's
really
the life
don't
of
like
Pokemon.
I
we're
guess we
getting
know
into the servitude of Pokemon.
I don't want to do this today. Not today.
not today, not again. Why
does that always come up
Not
every
again,
time?
Not again. Okay, Alex, do you have an answer?
This one's bad. I would call Laura Croft to come in and
Ooh.
pretend that she's my girlfriend.
going with this? Oh.
And then we argue our way out of the restaurant. And then we go get a beer because we're really good friends.
You have to be good friends for
Yeah,
Laura to come
yeah.
in and save you. She's a pal.
Exactly.
You two are down.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are friends.
She's
for
on
life.
She's on our Mount Rushmore. We're good.
Yeah.
We're tight.
No, that's
we're
good.
tight.
I mean, that's a good call.
Yeah.
You know, that'll get you out.
That'll
get you
get you
out. of
out.
the day. That'll get you out of the thing. Like, don't share her number. There's a lot of people that would call her
Yes.
with unduly things. Dan.
Kirby.
Kirby.
He just sucks me up out of the restaurant. Gone.
Wow, that's a great call.
That's incredible.
You are in and out.
That's
you
so
are
good.
in and out.
Done.
That's so
Gone.
good.
Mid conversation, I'm just gone.
Gone. All right.
In someone's belly.
Yep.
For like,
That's
for
your
like a
escape
second.
route?
He's saying that's better than the date. I mean, yeah,
wow.
that's what he's saying.
I wanted a
Jeez.
quick out.
Like getting digested.
He's not
All
going to
right, whatever.
digest me. He's not eating me
I
for my
just-
powers. He's just going to spit me right back out.
What I like about this scenario is
He's
that
going to have your jacket. That's what's going to
Oh
happen.
no, yeah.
That would actually be really awesome. Nintendo, right there.
I just like the idea
We
of
know
being
you're
in-
listening.
Being in a restaurant. It's a really nice restaurant. Everyone's like, cleaning glasses and like drinking some wine and everything, the white tables. And then just like Kirby comes in, blah, 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 sucks out Dan Tack and then
not-
runs out.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to see that.
He's not like really visible. He's like got a range. He's got a long reach.
Is he tiny or is he big in our real world?
He's tiny in our world. I
He's
think.
tiny.
Yeah.
He's tiny in our world.
Like smaller than
Basketball?
the table? or-
Basketball.
Okay.
Basketball size.
Basketball.
Oh,
All
that's
right.
even more comical. Just bounding in.
He no one sees him except for like the maitre d' and the people in the front.
Okay.
Right? I'm just gone. I'm just gone in a wind. See how fast he is? He's good.
I mean, if
All right, fine. We'll change. Well, I'll do the
no,
call.
no, it's your
No,
story.
this is great.
No, we
Yeah.
love it.
I'm
We
just
love it.
worried
All
about you
right.
in this scenario.
Oh, I'm
right.
completely cool.
All right.
All right.
You totally saw that parking spot first, but someone came out of nowhere and sniped it from you. What video game character do you call? I have an answer.
I have an answer.
You went first last time.
No, I didn't. I went
No,
last.
you did.
Me. I did.
Yeah.
It's you. It's you. Go down.
I'm gonna pick either of the Rampage monsters.
Oh,
I'm just
Oh.
gonna destroy that thing and throw it away.
all right. That's fair enough. You're bringing just the heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Just getting it done. Getting
him
it
in.
done.
Yeah. I'm going Kratos from God of War 2, like prime pissed
Anger,
off Kratos,
anger.
who's gonna just chop the car in half and let him hear it. Not gonna kill him, but I'll focus his rage. But
It's a good answer, Reiner.
Nico Bellic, and he just takes the car and he's gone.
I knew somebody was gonna pick him.
That is a good
That's a good
choice.
one,
That
yeah.
is it's a really good spot.
He's apparently really good at it. So, yeah.
I mean, for me, I choose. I don't even know I can call them in, but I know there was one game at one point. I call in the sandworms from Dune.
You can technically use them.
Dude, the parking spot's gone.
You can use it.
This
God,
is a
the
lesson.
whole-
This is a lesson for everyone.
Forget the parking lot. That's gonna clean out the whole.
Well,
Like,
same with your monsters.
you
You're going to
do
be parking
not-
on uneven ground.
they can. The monsters are precise enough to reach through windows, and on certain
Get
objects.
people off toilets. I've
The
seen
exact
it.
same
I've seen
philosophy.
it.
Yeah.
Just saying,
okay.
This is a lesson for all that you do not snipe parking spots. I'm fixing society. Because there is a landmark left. There's a crater left.
You're bringing in spice worms. You're definitely changing society.
I'm letting people know that this is unacceptable. Someone at work brought up an idea that everyone thinks is great, but you actually said the same idea earlier and no one noticed. Who do you call?
Who do you call for that?
Who do you call?
Someone that can rewind time.
Ooh, the Prince of Persia.
That's a good one.
That's really creative.
Yeah.
That's good.
The Prince of Persia is a good answer.
Prince.
That's a great answer.
You gotta. I mean, that's a combo. That's both of ours then, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm helping
you
you
have
out.
a different one.
I think you.
Okay.
I mean, like Ezio, because I think he's so dashing, jumps from the sky, assassination, and bounds into the distance. Fixed.
I have.
I mean, you murdered someone. I just rewound time and spoke up.
Hey, we all have our different solutions.
Hey, you know.
All right, yeah, fine.
Yours is very peaceful.
Teach their own.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring in Psychomantis to rewire their brains to make them think I did it.
Oh, there you go.
I love that.
That's great.
That's really good.
That's a great answer.
That's real good.
Follow that up.
Mine's not as good. I hate following Dan in these situations. I was gonna say I'll grab Morden from Mass Effect and we'll collaborate on an even better idea than pitch that one.
Oh, all right. I like the Mass Effect call out there, though. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right.
Dan.
The Starbucks.
You got me.
The Starbucks coffee you just ordered came with regular milk instead of almond milk. You definitely told the barista to use almond milk. Who do you call?
Okay, first of all, I would never do that. I want to make that very clear.
I would.
I get mine with almond milk.
I would. There you go.
All right.
So you just don't care. So you just walk away. Nothing.
No,
you don't call anybody.
I have to-
You
I
don't,
have-
you don't have to call anybody. You walk
In
away.
this situation, I have to do something, right? I mean, but
Yeah, okay.
I honestly would not care.
Okay. So call Parappa and you two just like.
I just call somebody to chill. I call
Yeah.
Travis Touchdown. We go get a beer.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's an answer. And because this is really fun, Alex, follow Dan.
I don't wanna.
Why wasn't even good that time? I was a non-participant.
I'll do I don't know. Sly Cooper can steal a drink for me, and I won't have to pay for it again. Reiner.
All right. That's Sly Cooper. I like bringing Sly Cooper in.
I bring in someone that can talk. I bring in like a Tom Nook from Animal Crossing.
They're never going to let you in that coffee shop again.
And then I get like my coffee and a gift card
Ooh, nice work.
Oh,
as a sorry.
a little finesse. there.
$25. That's like
How much was the
three
coffee?
drinks. It's 3 drinks. Yeah.
I call Spider-Man, who swings through the Starbucks, knocks the coffee out of my hand, accidentally all over the barista who got my order wrong.
Wow,
Ooh.
that's vindictive.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
No,
kind of
not to the
amazing. 'cause
face.
He's,
It's
he's going to double here.
this is
is
like
good.
this, right? Swings through. Spider-Man lands and does a Peter Parker, like we get one of his
You can't
things.
know it's Peter Parker.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, like one of his, he's good-hearted. I'm
Yeah,
so
he's your
sorry
friendly
about
neighborhood
that. He's a
Spider-Man's
friendly.
here,
It's a
yeah.
friendly neighborhood kind of thing. Like, hey, would
You're
you
grounded.
And then
coffee
he just kind of
grounds,
looks at
right?
me and goes like, I think he ordered it with almond milk, and then swings away, and then I get my order.
Wow,
and
and
it's
you
fixed.
got a little
That's
petty
good.
revenge out of it too.
Yeah,
I, like
I
it.
did. See, it's like I'm
That one's really
That's
good.
good.
Yeah. So that's what I do. So okay, so awesome. Thank you, Dan from Dorchester, Maine. Thanks for the great show.
Super great. That was fun.
That was
was
fun.
fun.
It's-
We need more of those.
Yeah, it's I by the way, you guys, I said
Cool
this earlier.
game.
You guys are heroes. You guys have been sending great questions, and this is fun content, and we really enjoy doing it. And I was like, I can't make the show 3 hours, and then I went and made the show 3 hours because I just couldn't
We
not
had
do
3
these.
hours. We're
mean-
almost at 3
Yeah,
hours.
we're not done.
Oh my god.
Oh,
We're
I was
not
gonna
done.
say filibuster for 2 more minutes, but it sounds like you got it.
Yeah. Still in overtime. We're in overtime. I get it.
Double.
I get it.
Double
Double overtime.
Double secret overtime.
Double overtime. Andy and the GI crew. I think it's been a fantasy of gamers around the world that they might one day have the use of their gaming skills to actually help support an important cause or save the world. This idea has been explored in The Last Starfighter, Ready Player One, Ernest Cline's book Armada, and others. I'd like to point out is it an Ender's Game where they used the
That's gotta
skills
be one
of
of the
gamers.
first ones,
yeah, one
right?
of the first to do that. So if the world needed you to apply your gaming skills to military service, mostly using drones, what service would you enlist in and why? So what it is here, this is the game, is that in a world where war is fought with drones and in virtual reality, no one is hurt. We don't want anybody hurt, and we don't encourage war. By the way, I'd like to point that out. We're not.
But they do get hurt. Like, that's the whole point of this.
No,
Well, it could just be drone versus
we're saying
drone.
drones. We're saying drone versus
everybody's
drone.
at a computer.
Everyone's at a computer. This we're
it's
trying
all
to
robots.
We're trying to keep this somewhat
All
happy.
robots.
Sure.
But it's about us. It's about what skills we bring to this futuristic virtual military and what we choose. Okay, so here are the choices. Would you join the Army and Marines and control infantry robots through a first-person shooter type scenario? So are you the first-person shooter guy who can lead? I mean, 'cause this way, you're just not. You're the hero.
I get it.
Right? Like, this is not just are you good at it. Like, are you going to
get
change
it.
the world this way?
Okay.
Right. So I'm going to read through all the options, and then you're going to pick one. Okay.
FPS.
Okay. So would you join the Air Force and Space Force and fly combat drones? Think Ace Combat, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, something like that. Would you join the Special Forces and control special stealth robots, similar to games like Metal Gear Solid, Siphon Filter, or something similar? So stealth. Are you the stealth? Are you the stealth? Are you the stealth? Right?
I like the Reiner pointing.
I
during
know.
this.
I know.
Yeah.
And then we got to, yeah.
He's not going to pick that one.
Okay. Maybe you'd become a military strategist and help decide where and how to deploy units similar to a real-time strategy game. Maybe you'd join military intelligence and help review documents and look for pieces of key information similar to Gone Home or Papers, Please. Or would you do something else that hasn't been mentioned? P.S. He tried to think of something for the Navy type thing.
Like,
so Skull
the
and
Enigma
Bones.
machine, maybe, like
something
puzzle
that.
solving.
If you really want to go out on a limb and do something original, but I think he's got good choices here. This is from Alan from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I think there's some talkers here. So what is your game skill that changes the world, saves us all from ourselves?
I'm going to relieve you of one duty because it would lead to disaster.
Yes.
And I'm going to take that. That is flight.
Oh God, I'm so bad at flight.
So I would be the flying the drones.
You think
through
you're
tight
Maverick,
quarters.
don't you? You
I
think
do.
you think you're Maverick.
He thinks all right. I like
All right.
it.
All right.
dig
I got it.
I can
Yeah.
dig it.
All right. Okay, Maverick. Okay. But thank you, by the way, because if the world...
I'm
if
doing you a favor.
If the world was like,
Yeah.
Andy, we need you to fly this spacecraft or the end of humanity's coming, I'd be like, bye, humanity.
Yeah, you're like,
see ya.
Yeah.
Is it inverted?
Nice knowing you, because this isn't going to work out. I'm not good at that.
And I can play inverted or not.
I know you.
I have
It's
that
so-
skill
it's so-
set.
it's a
That's-
weird
Wow, that's
skill.
impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, just immediately. I can pick it up.
You're broken. I don't know how you do that. That doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense to me.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense to me. So,
I'll go next.
right.
I'm a Marine all the way. I'm best in not only first person shooters but close combat, like so small maps. So I'd be in there, shotgun, ready to go,
Jeez.
turning the corners.
wow.
I mean, it's a robot. You're just at a computer. But
I mean,
yeah,
you're not,
I hear you.
Yeah.
But he's saying he wants to mix it up.
There's robot infantry in this.
You're in the trenches.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm right up in it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, and like, because you didn't pick like sniper or anything like that. You're
No,
like you're
I'm
ready.
like-
You're
yeah.
ready to get your drone's hands dirty.
Oh yeah.
All right, Dan.
I think out of those roles, I think the strategist is probably the
Yeah.
one I'm going
Look
to
at,
pick.
look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out how to eliminate the drones and, of course, all of their operators as
He'll
well.
upload a virus. yeah.
So would you quick key all the groups?
I don't think, we have, this sounds like we have sufficient
You got the
technology so
cooldowns.
I don't need to macro
You
everything.
don't have to macro everything. Okay.
Got my mad micro, my drone groups.
I mean, would you use a 5-button mouse, 2-button mouse,
Dude, we're all 3 buttons.
3 buttons?
3 buttons is all you need.
3 buttons is all you
The
need.
middle button is the key.
Is the secret.
Yeah.
All right. You can save the world that way.
Oh yeah, because we're gonna have our strategy is gonna be so good that they won't have a chance.
You won't have a chance.
It's not even gonna be like I'm gonna have so many extra units at the end of that game.
All right.
It's
So Dan is going to overwhelm them by force with Maverick Reiner in the air. Flying in and on the ground will be Alex, taking care of everyone up close and personal with his shotgun. And what I will be doing, I'll be reviewing those documents. Looking for key pieces of information to pass along to you guys.
I just see
Vital
I
intel.
just see an empty chair with a stack of papers in front of it, and Andy off playing WoW.
This is possible. I envision myself
Review
we got this
documents.
down. We got this down.
He put the option to pick review
did.
documents.
What was the, what was the one we
the
didn't
option
do?
is
What was
there.
the one we didn't do?
He said the one we didn't do would have been
And I was pointing at you for it.
would have been stealth.
Yeah, exactly. Dishonored.
I am
You
not,
even that was your kill. Was stealth.
That is true. That is true.
Wow.
But I had the option to pick look over documents. I really did. Like I'm a
That's
rear.
the dream job.
I'm
there.
in,
Dirk. The poison Dirk.
I'm in the rear with the gear. I think
That's fair.
when it comes to this, you
All
know what I
right,
mean.
all right.
Like I'm more radar from MASH.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a really good
than
radar.
anything.
What kind of intel do you give us then?
The best. Nothing but the best. The best intel.
You're the best intel.
The best intel.
It's
some
tremendous.
say the best.
Hey, Reiner, you're gonna want to blow that up. Hey, look for the glowy bit.
Yeah,
Shoot it.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hit him 3 times. Not 4, not 2. You need to hit him 3 times.
He's gonna have a second form, guys.
Yeah, like it's coming.
That'll come in after he's already
coming.
gone into
Hey.
the second floor.
It's very important to the success.
Sure.
So please let us know what division you would join us in our weird Game Informer video game fuel virtual war army. We'd love to hear it in the comments.
And Kiss, Marry, Kill too.
And Kiss, Marry, Kill. We
Yeah,
like
those are
to
good
give-
ones coming.
Yeah, that guy, who would you pick? Would you save Star Wars? Would you kill Star Wars? Where would you go?
Or just kiss it.
Let us know. It was a lot of fun. It was a long show. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Once again, I can't say it enough. You guys are heroes. Sending so much stuff to podcast@GameInformer.com. The new games are weird. Let us know what you think. I don't know what you think of some of these things that
if
we're
you're playing
trying. And please keep the talk up. Please let your friends know about the Game Informer show, that it is not the worst game-based podcast. Wait, what was it? Was it experience? Non-simulation video game podcast experience. Let us know. Let people know. Hit the follows, subscribe. I'm super excited about how the podcast is going, and thank you all for being on the show. And we will see you next week. Thanks a lot for listening.